There we go. Okay, there we are.
Nico.
We're back and we're ready to listen to his... I think we have enough energy to get through his Nico take.
Dude, this is hour 7. This is hour 7.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, no, let's...
Before
Something
we
I noticed
continue...
that we haven't done,
Oh, okay.
actually. I'm not really even sure
derail our intro already.
Hmm?
You're going to derail our intro already?
That's my job.
Okay.
Is we actually haven't introduced ourselves. No, that's mine. No. You're a fucking prick. Okay. So, all right, fine. You brought the alcohol into it first.
Oh god, Coke Vanilla is disgusting.
It's awful.
Who bought this?
Mac buys them. But you know what? You know what I do when he buys them? I drink them. Motherfucker.
Fine.
I do not have a beer to open. Look, this is me unscrewing the cap off of a bottle of red wine. I've upgraded.
I don't... It's a red Solo cup. I don't think you've upgraded.
Red Solo cup. I fill you up. Let's have a party. Anyway, so I actually realized that throughout this entire series that we've done, we have yet to actually introduce ourselves and say which of us is talking. Is that something that should be done?
I mean, at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. Memes.
So, my name is Austin. I am a level 35 stink boy. And this is my channel.
This is your channel that you do things on.
Yep. My name is Scrumbumbulous Douche. And I am the editor, which means this is staying in.
Wonderful.
Yeah. We don't really have... I don't know if we had too much challenge in the comments.
By?
People, just in general.
You mean challenge in terms of?
Like things to bring up and talk about.
Oh, in terms of last episode?
Yes.
Well, there was a few things, but yeah.
If you would like to go on that, because all I really want to do is talk about Big Daddy Thanos.
That's fine, just ignore me. I don't exist. I'm a figment of your imagination. When people watch this is all just dead air.
Look, I don't want to interrupt you, but I will interrupt you to talk about Big Daddy Thanos.
Okay.
Can we talk Big Daddy Thanos for a second?
Okay.
Big Daddy Thanos has commented encouragement on all of our videos that is pushing me...
Your encouragement, which is for just alcoholism.
It is pushing me down a dark road of alcoholism faster and faster, and frankly, I could not be happier. I haven't even started drinking yet. So... I don't know. I just felt like in the other earlier episodes, we were talking about, people that were challenging us or...
Oh, yeah, because
it's like saying things that were trying to get, the creative juices flowing. Mm-hmm. Or like basically saying like, I disagree with blank and here's why. Mm. And we haven't really mentioned people that are just like, cool, like you.
Oh, that's fair, yeah.
And Big Daddy Thanos has been doing that a lot. And
well, we've had a lot of actually really positive comments,
yes.
which I'm still incredibly surprised
I know,
by.
But I like saying Big Daddy Thanos more than other names.
Okay.
Come on, it's... Alright, I get silly sometimes. I just called myself Scrumbumbulous.
I think you make a good pair with Big Daddy Thanos. You Scrumbumbulous and Big Daddy Thanos.
Big Daddy Scrumbumbulous. He's gonna talk about Nico.
Okay, before we get back to Twin Review and his very level-headed and thought out
dissection,
his very level-headed and thought out response on Nico.
Yeah.
I promised someone I would bring up a question to you for us to discuss.
Oh, okay.
Which is, he was having a debate with one of his friends about whether at the end of DMC 5, if Virgil and Dante are indeed stuck in hell or not.
Okay, so, so what I'm drinking, it's Fainted Goat. It's a Pennsylvania wine.
Get back on topic.
I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's think about it.
like honestly, at face value, it seems to be like a easy question, but then the more you think about it, the deeper into lore you go, and it gets actually complicated.
Well,
because
we know that Yamato, which they do have Yamato.
Yes.
Has been used by the Order of the Sword to make or open a portal between the human and demon world.
DMC4 is weird because, like, with the those stone obelisks, which work as gates to the demon world.
Obelisks?
They're like big things.
Obelisk.
What did I say?
Don't worry about it.
Oysters. The big oysters. They're opened up just like you would oysters with Yamato. You kind of split them in the middle, and you have to cut the muscle, and then it clams open. So what you have to do. So Yamato is it's the fucking.
It's a catalyst.
It's the catalyst and the MacGuffin in DMC4 for the Order of the Sword to open up and create a demon invasion so that they can look like the good guys.
But
yes,
is that opening an existing portal?
That's the question.
Or can it open a portal itself?
We know it can.
But if it can only open existing portals, are there portals in hell?
Well, yes, because there's portals. Obviously, there's portals that go from the demon worlds through those obelisks, oyster obelisks, that go to the human realm.
Right.
Who knows if they exist everywhere or just in Fortuna? Like, that's one thing. Like, there hasn't been a lot of world building film make. Right, not that it's a bad thing. The series has been more focused on it.
There would be more.
In terms of those obelisks, probably.
Like, if it was just closing one portal, I don't think that Sparta would be deified for just... Actually, mate...
Well, okay.
See, he was deified in a city where the portal was for closing it. Fuck.
Well, that could be the only portal then. It's also explicitly said that he used Yamato to split the demon and human worlds apart from each other.
Like, he did it with Yamato.
I would have to find the text. I hope I'm not misremembering. I'm pretty sure that's like in the opening text crawl of one of the Devil May Cry games.
Oh, shit.
We'll come back. Maybe I'll come back to this next episode after I do research.
Here's what I'm going to say. They are not trapped in hell, but there's a possibility that the way that they get out of hell might be stupid and contrived.
Might be longer to get out of. But the thing is, it gets more complicated because we know Yamato can teleport at least within its own dimension. As in, remember when he gets the Yamato back, he cuts a portal open.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter about crossing dimensions. You're right, but it does. But it can. It can open and looks like create its own portals. But only possibly within a dimension, not crossing the dimensional barrier that may have been created by itself. So it's just like, oh man.
Perhaps with Sin Devil Trigger.
Perhaps maybe you need to be more. Maybe you need to be more powerful to break that barrier. Maybe you don't want to break that barrier, or you break the barrier entirely. I don't know.
It's possible. But it's basically like, could they write a way for them to get out of hell?
Oh yeah,
easily. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Could like where it sits right now is you can write it kind of either way and cite something in the past that works for both angles. Either they can get out anywhere where they want, anytime whatsoever with Yamato. There's evidence you can cite. They can't get out anywhere they want. They have to go to a certain portal. There's precedent they can cite. It kind of exists right now. It seems in a limbo of the writer can make it whatever they want if there is a sequel down the line that focuses on it. You can kind of make the argument for either one. Where I stand, it's probably, I think I would agree with you in terms of they can get out, but they would have to find an existing portal possibly. At the very least, like that may not be the most supported one, but it's the one that at least allows for a more interesting story structure. In the way that like they just don't.
It would give them a level or two in hell.
Yeah,
which is a cool idea.
Yeah, that's the most.
Maybe they'd find the motorcycle.
Maybe they find the motorcycle that Dante just left there, and Virgil's like, how'd this get here? And Dante's like,
hell. And Dante's like, I need to pick something up first. And he like rips the sheet off of the motorcycle like he's unveiling fucking Optimus Prime. And Virgil's like, this only seats one. Dante's like, you're gonna have to hug me. You're gonna have to hug me from behind, Virgil. You're riding bitch. Don't give him the satisfaction. Don't let him see. Virgil wearing a little helmet.
Virgil's just like, hey Dante, when'd you go to hell? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. It was a very interesting time in my life.
He's like, you didn't like come say hi or look me up or anything? I'm in the fucking Demon Yellow Pages now. You could have found me.
Dante, I was on a lot of Ambien back then.
Oh, Dante, like pizza. Like Dante doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, but what he does do is wine and pills.
Like
Dante is a soccer mom.
He remembers nothing of DMC2. I mean,
My thick babe Lucy.
yeah, that's why I haven't read the prequel novel, but as far as I know, he's just pretends he knows who Lucy is, but has no fucking memory of it.
Shall we play probably our most long-running game?
What?
Has Austin read the prequel novel this week? The answer is I forgot. Again.
I didn't have time as well. I still really want to. I'm very excited to.
Oh, it gave us the link and everything. I'm such an asshole.
I've even been relegated to providing the link to other people. I'm spreading it. It's great. All right,
I'm a carrier.
let's talk about
the DMC
Let's
prequel novel.
talk about Nico.
All right. Let's do it.
I really tried with Nico. Nico is annoying the whole time. I don't understand people that defend this character. She's terrible and makes me so mad. She's kind of like that annoying friend in high school who embarrasses you in front of your cool friends, but like ramped up to 11.
I think the funny thing about this is I agree with everything he's just said.
Really?
Because I feel like she was made that way on purpose. That's why I like Nico. She is annoying.
He also apparently just said that he has a friend who's he's embarrassed about.
That's a good point. That's weird. Oh, that's high school. I guess that happens. I don't know.
I mean, well, not for me. Like, I went to 2 different high schools, but like, if someone was like, "Hey, do you want to invite?" Like, I would invite you to like. I was in a band, and we drank, we did marijuana, drugs. You know, we smoked cigarettes.
Ambien.
You don't do none of that shit. But if you had been available, I would have fucking invited you. Like, just to say.
So I could stand in the middle of the room amongst the drugs and just be this weird, awkward man.
Just like a force field. A fucking anti-weed for like, no, I'm a good boy.
Walk in the room, all the stoner people would start, like, hissing.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Oh,
It's him.
hissing. I
It's
thought you
him.
said kissing.
What?
And you're like, I just have that effect on people.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I love the way that people who don't know anything about drugs talk about drugs. It's like, you know when you rip a fat doobie and then you just start making out with whoever's around you? Regardless of, like, sex, age, or, like, fucking whatever.
At time, yeah. That's what happens, don't you know? You take a hit and you just start growing Devon horns. And Satan just follows you around
I did
every
some
day.
mescaline the other day and I fucking DT'd.
Nico!
It was ridiculous.
Nico! Let's talk about Nico. But, getting back on topic.
Yes.
I agree with him. Nico is annoying. I think she's there. Like, I think we were talking about this before. I feel like we have. She's like that on purpose.
Yes, this is actually a place where he and I can agree.
Exactly. This is
Because
surprising.
Nico is intentionally annoying in a way that it's either it lands for you or it doesn't.
Yeah.
She's not very like vanilla comedy. It's not comedy for everyone.
No.
It's a very it's crazy man, straight man. And like that has gone away because it's not particularly. Actually, no.
It's what comedy was
just
for a
kind
very
of
long
changed
period of time.
forms.
Yes.
It's like jester and straight man, basically. Like
I think his issue.
old. Now it's just jester, and it's just jesters in a jester world. Like it's like The Hangover. That's what comedy is nowadays.
Oh, Hangover worked because it had straight men.
Who was the straight man in The Hangover?
I forget his name, but one of the guys. Like the main guy that kind of led everyone around for the most part was very much a straight man in terms of he was confused and bewildered at every scenario.
I'd have to watch it again.
You have to watch it again.
I remember
Hangover. At least I've only seen Hangover 1. I have to see the sequels. At least Hangover 1 was good comedy because it had straight men.
I remember that when I came out of The Hangover, because I'm pretty sure I saw it in theaters. I remember going like comedy. It was like fucking Old Snake. Comedy. It's changed.
God.
Like it used to be about wordplay and jokes, and now it's just about who can be loudest.
I wouldn't cite Hangover as that. It has jokes that are like that. Either way, we're getting way off topic.
The Hangover is a lot of people screaming.
We're getting way off topic for certain
tased and
scenes.
going,
For certain
and then you're
scenes.
going like, "Oh, you went dead!" Oh, God. Sorry.
That's fine.
But anyway, that's not what this comedy is. This comedy is a different breed.
So, I think the issue that, at least, I don't want to speak for him, but what my assumption is, it looks like he's looking at Nico in a vacuum and just being like, oh my god, she's so annoying. I hate having to listen to her. Instead of seeing the scene as a whole, as in Nico's being extremely annoying, and Nero and V are like, oh my god, why is she still here?
Just about everything that she says is set up to a joke that is completed by a straight man.
By Nero being like
Nero, or technically Dante in that one scene.
Technically, yeah.
Sometimes his punchline is just ignoring her.
He like fucking, as much as he can, just like, don't make eye contact.
Yeah, but if all you do is like, if you hear what Nico says and then like you're rolling your eyes and going, oh my god, while the punchline is happening, like, then you're just seeing Nico's setups, and those are purposefully annoying.
Up your butt.
Exactly.
That is a joke in itself, and I do find funny. But the real joke in the scene is then Nero being flabbergasted and having no response and walking away.
Is that what she says is so juvenile that Nero, who is like the punk kid in DMC4, is like fucking flabbergasted. It's like, just focus on the mission, please. So whether or not Nico lands for you is like totally subjective.
It's always subjective, but that's not the full joke.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I will say that, like,
if you find Nico annoying, I understand.
Yeah, agreed. To an extent.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's see where else
like,
goes. Yeah.
To say that she's like super awful and horrible, like, he's doing the thing again where he's like, she's the worst ever
all time.
Yeah.
She
like that, I don't.
Every scene she's in finds the rudest, most childish way to communicate every line.
No, I got you covered, asshole. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the point.
But to the point, like, although like at least for those van lines, it's one of those ones where I'm like, I can't be mad at you because you actually did a cool thing.
Well, no,
in a way. Okay,
here,
you want to go back?
Yeah, okay. No. Yes, she's like that in every line.
Mm-hmm. It's consistent.
That's like, her character has to be consistent. Because could you imagine if she just like broke down and like was really heartfelt for a moment?
Well, there's
like every now and again she would do one of her signature jokes,
but then
they would come out of nowhere.
Yeah, it would be even weirder. It works also well because there's also a few scenes where she gets flustered and that persona drops for a second. Remember when she almost crashes into Nero?
Yeah, but she doesn't let anyone else see it.
Well, that was the time. Yes,
those are special little moments for the audience only.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Nico wouldn't work for me if she was wishy-washy on her humor.
Oh yeah, like if she
only works because she ruins every scene that she's in. If she
was like just talk to Nero straight almost all the time, and every once in a while be up your butt, you'd be like, what? Like, where is this coming from?
Like,
what?
she actively and purposely ruins the tone of scenes that she's in. That's the point of her.
Yeah.
So if she only did it kind of sometimes, it would be weird, and I would hate it.
Okay.
But her character is consistent, and consistency is important.
It is. It's one of the keystones of writing, I would say.
I just toasted my drink to him. Right.
Look at you. Nobody's crying, all right?
And
Okay. This one's subjective, but
Nobody's crying, all right?
and
I really did like that ending scene.
Where she's just making fun of Nero.
Making fun of Nero constantly, and then Nero gets so pissed off. Like, you say cry one more time, picks up the phone, Devil May Cry. He almost drops an F-bomb, too.
To Kyrie. Yeah. That moment where you gesture on the straight man so much, even the straight man starts to freak out. Mwah.
Like, it's a good scene because it once again reinforces their relationship of just being. It's almost like a brother and sister.
Yeah, she's
sort of like they kind of hate each other.
She's a court jester,
but they're still friends.
Yeah. I like the dynamic between Nico and Nero is. It's kind of really like because Nero has become a straight man. Mm-hmm. He's not really that Dante. He shows off a little bit, crew cut, that kind of stuff. But like at the end of the day, he's more serious. He's a good boy. He doesn't smoke. Mm-hmm. So in order to have a comedy dynamic, you have to change. Like, you have to change Nico. Like, you have to change the side character to being comic relief, and then the main character has to be the straight man. Whereas, like, in DMC3, Lady was the straight man, and Dante was your jester archetype.
Yeah, which then became mixed as the story went down.
As the story went on, yes. But, like, the roles are reversed here when they were more concrete.
Yeah, that's very like kids. Like a good example is in the beginning of the game when Dante catches her as she's falling down the tower, and he just keeps cracking jokes, and he's completely oblivious that lady's having the worst day of her life.
Yes. I can see this relationship becoming a bit more either, having more of a back and forth or being a bit more mellow in the coming games, like how Lady and Dante kind of got to know each other a little bit better.
That's fair, yeah. I could see that.
But, like, from a, like, generating a comedy script.
Like a writing standpoint.
Like,
there's nothing really wrong structurally
There's nothing
here.
particularly wrong with her.
No, yeah.
It's just whether or not it works for you.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't work for you, you can't say it's the worst or bad. And why is that like that? Oh, there you go.
All right, I'm just gonna dive into this one. Is she banging Nero?
What?
Try
No.
to play off this coy lesbian thing, but I don't buy it.
What? I love how we're like, no, we actually agree with you for once, and then all of a sudden, insane take. Just there he goes.
Then are they fucking?
Oh, there he is. He's gone. He's gone into the stratosphere.
No.
Where do you get that from?
Is it the vibrator arm that she's like, Kyrie would love, like, what's going on here, man? Like, this is Devil May Cry 5 Devil May Cry as a series is a really cool series, in that there is fan service in it, but nothing about it is particularly sexual.
The only thing sexual is that one DLC arm you get that heals you, the vibrator hand.
I'm not even really talking about.
I know.
Talking about, like, sexual relationships with other people. Like,
Zero.
We were, like,
for the most part,
flabbergasted that Virgil had sex with someone. Like, and the only reason we know that for sure is because Nero exists. One of our boys got his dick wet. That we know.
That is a undisputable fact.
And that's
despite
it.
how unbelievable it is.
Like, they started this series off with having, like, the main heroine of the game looking like his mom, therefore it's icky. Like, this this series is, like, completely devoid of sexuality between characters. Like, yeah, there's, like, sexy fan service, but it's a Japanese game.
I'm still stuck on, where does that even come from? Are Nero and Nico bagging?
No, dude, men and women can't be friends. You know that.
Then he also goes on to even acknowledge, like, the lesbian undertones that Nico has throughout the game. And then it goes, I'm not buying it. What do you mean you're not buying it? I don't understand. What's happening?
Like, okay, she's a video game character, and in order to read into someone and, like, get motivations and stuff, like, the writing has to be there. Like, we can talk about the way Dante feels, and we can speculate to a point about, like, how Nero feels in that final sequence.
Yeah.
But, like, we can talk about how Dante feels, we can talk about how Nero feels, because the plot is about that.
Uh-huh.
We can't go, she's not a lesbian and hiding it.
I don't understand what's happening.
Like, where in the writing can you read that in?
This is like fanfic level of, like, no, I'm like, no, they're banging, they're my ship.
I beyond what we just talked about, I don't know what to say about that.
This is the first time I've ever seen in my life a hate ship. He hates Nico, and, like, he seems to hate Nico so much that it's bleeding.
He hates Nico and he hates Nero.
It's
therefore
bleeding
they deserve
over.
Each other.
It's bleeding over into each other. This is absurd. Okay, let's just keep going.
They're always hanging out in the van as she bends over to pick up a new
They spend
hand.
time with each other, therefore
There's
they're
no way
fucking.
something's not happening here.
I would like to officially announce that Kaiser Kraken and I have been having sex regularly.
What? They hang out together because she makes his hands so he can kill your Risen. Hey, did you forget about the demon invasion that you were annoyed that that apparently Nero didn't give enough of a shit about? Do you want him not to spend time with Nico because it's against his Christian values to be in a room alone with another woman.
Dante and Morrison, that's my ship.
What is happening?
This is
Also the fact where she bends down sexually, that's more for the audience camera than Nero.
yeah. She's
If you want to get explicit about it, that's the reason they made it that way.
it's just and it's just her being weird.
That's all.
She knows it makes Nero uncomfortable.
That's a good point.
It's like when I make gay jokes at you.
Oh god.
Like the one that I just did.
My only defense is to laugh and hope it goes away.
Don't let him show you're interested in. Kaiser, fuck.
I don't buy it. They're always hanging out in the van as she bends over to pick up a new hand. Like, there's no way something's not happening here. Is she in love with
Is this a
him?
bit?
These aren't bad.
Was that a bit or is that serious? The more I think about it. Oh, what? It doesn't matter.
I think it's a bit.
It doesn't matter.
Questions. If Nero was doing the same shit, I'd be calling him out too. But maybe I'm wrong. Could be that he's already taken care of business all on his own.
Catch my meaning?
Okay, before we keep going,
What?
I'm gonna use this one scene as my case study for everything that's wrong with the way DMC5 treats its characters.
Okay.
I mean,
Good.
after bringing every
All right.
Good.
We have
This is a
we have an
specific-
evidence reference scene.
We got through a weird ship and then a Nero masturbation joke. And now we'll get some specifics about something else. Even though this is supposed to be about Nico.
I think we moved past Nico. He had the title card. and
I suppose
everything.
so.
So this
That was
is
it for Nico?
apparently. I'm surprised he had the least
She's
amount
bad,
to say.
she ruins everything. And she's not a lesbian.
She's banging
Even though-
Nero.
Who cares?
I don't understand.
What part of her sexuality is important to the story of Devil May Cry 5?
0.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see. What's his case study scene? I'm curious.
everyone together, this has got to be the most embarrassing sequence I've ever seen in a game. It's just a symphony of
Just
bad.
again with
For
that.
context, Dante has just found his childhood home
All right.
and inexplicably received his sin powers, but we
Okay,
haven't had the time
pause.
to process this yet.
He didn't find it. Of course he knew where it was. He's been living in Redgrave forever. Oh, you think it was just a fucking accident that they're both in Redgrave? Okay, yes, he had a powerful moment there, but it's also a powerful private moment. And Dante is a very private person. To a fault. Of course he wouldn't fucking mention it. Sorry.
Let's let him finish. We can get a full rant out. All right. So that okay, we at the very least he didn't misrepresent the scene this time. We have that much.
Well, he said he found it.
Okay.
Yet, because he jumps immediately into a cutscene to kick Urizen's ass, only to let him get away because Dante's bad at doing things.
He teleported. Dante doesn't have teleport powers. What do you want me to say?
Dude, we talked about this. You gotta stop with the... Therefore, Dante's bad at everything.
Dante's bad at everything. What do you mean?
How many of these are jokes?
This one's not a joke. This one seems to actually be a legitimate criticism, which is pretty ill-founded in the way that Urizen literally ran away. He hard teleported.
Teleporting is a free action in Japanese media, by the way.
Apparently.
Back at the van, which is somehow inside the tree,
I mean, that's a fair criticism, but I guess that's a fair criticism, but at the same time, it's the van gets everywhere. What do you want me to say?
It's a gag.
It's a gag.
The van is a joke.
Dante finally reunites with his friends. Dante hasn't seen Lady since the Urizen battle, where they all probably thought each other were dead.
Trish, she was captured. I remember that. But I don't know what happened to Dante.
Nero probably has a lot of questions about Dante's unexplained powers and that he's alive still. Dante and Trish, at the very least, both understand that Urizen is actually Virgil, but no one says anything about it. And it can't just be to keep it from Nero. Or maybe they actually don't know? When Dante drops the worst line in the game and says, quote, "My dumbass brother's back, and I'm gonna rip him a new one," Trish's immediate reaction is, "Virgil's how?" So, does anyone know what's going on?
I don't remember that line, to be fair.
Oh,
I forgot about that line entirely.
No, that wasn't Virgil. She wasn't saying Virgil's Urizen. She's saying Virgil is back.
That is true. Oh, that's a good point, yeah, because none of them were there for that
it's like,
scene.
Urizen.
Oh, that's a
yeah,
good
he's saying
point.
that Urizen's gone. Virgil is back. That's what he's saying.
Also, okay, I don't know if he's still building to his point, so I didn't know when to pause. Let's just address what he's already talked about then, I guess.
Okay.
Before we
Do you want to go
continue.
back and do it bit by bit then?
Now we got it all because like
No, we got this.
we got this.
All right.
So like what's the summation here? So they all get together at that scene, and it's bad because no one talks about Virgil. The only people in the room that would bring up Virgil are V, Trish, and Dante. Dante wouldn't bring it up.
No,
V's not going to bring it up.
No, V's not going to bring it up. And
Trish-
Trish is not bringing it up in respect of Dante's wishes.
Yeah.
Because Trish tried to have the conversation of like, hey, dude, is that Virgil? And Dante's like,
I gotta leave now.
Like, I got this. This is my thing. Mm-hmm. And like, she already knows that. She understands.
Yeah, and at that point, she also knows that V is Virgil.
Yes.
At least an element of him.
So what are we left with? Isn't it weird that Nero doesn't ask what Sin Devil Trigger is?
I mean, I think Nero's entire career has been like, oh, Dante can do that?
Well, no, it's because that's not what is important to Nero right now.
No, it isn't.
All Nero gives a shit about is shrugging off the moniker dead weight.
Of dead weight. And
He brings it up in that cutscene.
yeah, the two things of still attempting to prove himself to Dante, as well as also getting like not getting his arm back, but like kind of reestablishing his.
That's all part of the same overarching.
It's all related to the
of
same.
shirking off dead weight
Yeah,
because like getting Dante's approval and getting his arm back, that's shirking off dead weight. Not to Dante, it is now a self-imposed moniker.
Yep.
That he has put upon his own shoulders.
Yep, and he focused it so hard in the way that he needs to beat your Risen. That's the only way for him to reaffirm that to himself.
Yes,
Which is why he becomes so fixated on it.
It's conflicting.
Which once again,
I don't want to say misunderstandings,
Uh-huh.
but it's people with completely different, I suppose,
Viewpoints
ways in which
and
they want the
paths.
story to go, just kind of colliding and glancing off of each other,
because
and not speaking.
well, the whole point is
And the point of Devil May Cry 5 is, man, wouldn't it be better if Dante knew how to talk to his friends?
What's even more is that at least that scene is actually a good exemplar of the fact that like no one actually has a conversation with each other about anything.
Yes,
Because Nero tries to bring up the dead weight.
The climax of the story is Nero forcing that kind of open-hearted communication. Mm-hmm. He does it violently, but if they're sons of Sparta, that's how they do things. But he doesn't do it terminally, I suppose. He doesn't do it deadly.
Smash cut to stabbing Virgil in the chest. I know what you mean. You're entirely correct.
Oh my god, a son of Sparta got stabbed in the chest. How will he recover? Truly, this is a mortal blow.
God damn it. I'm just remembering, yeah, like it's basically the opening
Cut to Dante
cutscene.
running down the tower so fast he catches on fire.
What's the opening scene of
Terminal
Devil May Cry
velocity
1 where he
Dante.
gets stabbed in the chest by Alistair and then slides back up it? Like,
Through the fucking crossguard, you're like, that's horrible, Dante.
it's literally Dante being like, no, fuck you, sword. I'm on top.
Like, you could have done it the other... Fuck it, whatever.
Moving on. I forgot my point. Small tangent. It's also why it's a great characterization scene of Nero slows himself down to actually carry V to the Urizen fight. Even though he's so focused on doing it himself, he's still such a good guy that he does it.
It's just, like... Every now and again, you get a tiny little moment to remind yourself that Nero is not Virgil or Dante. Mm-hmm. That even though he's becoming angrier, and he feels helpless, he's becoming angrier, that core of his character that was just instilled upon him, not really by the Order of the Sword, but basically by Kyrie only?
Kyrie and, well, yeah, it's hard to say how much Credo had an impact in it, but at least all we know is he looked up to Credo, so.
Yes.
We're back.
You know, in terms of, like, as an executive producer of this show, I think I'm going to have to let you go, man.
Oh, no. Come on.
Where will I go?
Come on, man. I got bills to pay. I have, like, crippling addiction to things.
I'll do anything. Anything?
No, not more gay jokes. Anything
man.
but that.
I'm already so Hollywood. I've been invited to a
Weinstein party?
I was gonna say a party at Bryan Singer's house. How spicy am I allowed to get on this show?
I don't. It's your show.
It's your show. It's my channel, but this is your show.
Wait, then you're fired.
No, I'll do anything.
Then you unfire me.
You can't fire me. I quit. Wait.
Welcome to Kaiser Kraken Hates Things.
Oh, fuck. All right.
I'll keep you on at intern pay. That's the best I can do for you.
Interns don't get paid.
Exactly.
Shit. I need to drink a little bit more then.
I'm sure I could hook something up with Big Daddy Thanos to get your pay in beer.
Big Daddy Thanos. He's like, do you have enough beer for the next episode? I'm like, I think so. And he's like, I'll buy you beer. And I'm like, fucking really? Like, thank you, and don't tempt me.
Okay.
Like, could you imagine if, like, we got big and then I set up a PayPal exclusively for alcohol?
That'd be an issue instantly on day one. Hey, Austin, you want to film the next episode? Sorry guys, he died last night.
We came in for a response about, like, I don't know, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then we found him fucking dead in his bathroom. He was drinking
Choked on
Chardonnay. What a douchebag.
Drinking Chardonnay, eating a ham sandwich.
Oh, what am I, French?
You're Elvis.
They found me dead on the bathroom, on the toilet. I literally shat so hard that I propelled myself into the bathtub.
What were we doing again?
Yeah, no, you're coming along with me on my tangents. This is what happens on hour 7.
Where are we? What's happening?
You're in my bedroom,
Oh, no.
and I'll do anything.
Okay. Twin, help me.
Never would have guessed you'd come back. Damn it, V. Was this your plan all along?
So there's no reunion.
Yes,
There's no.
what?
Oh my god.
Hold on. Did we miss
I'm gonna rip
something?
him a new one. Trish's immediate reaction is,
Virgil's how?
so, does anyone know what's going on? Does Dante know?
Never
Yeah,
would have guessed you'd come back.
Trish remarking,
Damn it, V.
surprised
Was this your plan
that
all
Urizen
along?
and V had merged to become Virgil. I would have been like, what? How?
I'm confused what his point is here. Is he saying that Dante should have known that V would have done that, or that he did do that?
And how does this a case study of that one scene?
Things were past this scene. This is events taking place after it. Although,
No, I think he's saying that these events happened because nobody talked to each other in that scene, and therefore that scene is bad.
no, he was using this scene to first talk about Lady and Trish is talking about Virgil. He's back. How? When we already
The scene he's talking about, the case study, the scene before that.
Yeah.
Nobody,
But, the reason he
nobody
brought-
shared pertinent information with
Yeah.
each other because they're all hiding things from each other.
Yes, no, but
because they're all flawed individuals.
No, what he's saying is that because he was first saying he was unsure what information people had in that scene, the case study scene, and he's saying, wait, does Lady and Trish know? And then he's bringing up proof saying that no, they didn't because they said Virgil Howe in that scene we just watched, which we just proved
but
is
we already went
incorrect.
over that. Yeah.
And then he also went on a tangent talking about how Dante says something about V doing something, which is an event that takes place after the case study scene anyway, about how V recombines with Urizen to form Virgil. After the scene, he recombined with Virgil. I'm losing track. The thing is, okay, let's just talk about the combined scene real quick then. Yes,
It's awesome.
I like it's awesome,
scene.
and yes, it makes sense that Dante did not like at first think that V would.
The fucking audience wasn't sure until he says, "And I've lost you, and you've lost me, as our roots entwine or something, as
Yeah.
our roots together join."
Mm-hmm. And that's when the audience and both Dante go, "Oh god damn it!"
Fucking V.
So like, I'm not sure what point he's trying to make with that. Well, this is already a tangent, but like,
Yeah. V's character arc is that
it's a one of mystery. The
he
unsure
learned he learned lessons even though he didn't want it to. What the thing that V was telling himself is that he is Virgil and he can become Virgil again.
Yeah, that's
What the way V grows is the subconscious lessons. My
Lesions?
tongue is so burnt.
I mean,
All that pizza.
Virgil would look at them as lesions.
All the lessons that he unconsciously, subconsciously learned. That, like, Virgil is a different person
When he comes back.
when
yeah.
he comes back. Like,
And it's all because of V.
he talks to Dante, like, he talks to Nero even before Nero beats him. He acknowledges Nero. He's
Doesn't
like,
he say thank you, Nero? Yeah,
Yes!
He says,
Yes, he does.
Is this the first time he's ever said anything? I think that...
It was kind of a shitty thank you, but it was still him acknowledging that someone else exists besides Dante.
That's true, yeah. Because that's all, at least back in Devil May Cry 3, that was, like, as well as, like, that's because that's the most characterization we have for Virgil, that was one of his main things where he doesn't want to give a shit about anyone else. He wants only sole power for himself to be above everyone. He basically hated...
Interpersonal relationships are a weakness.
He basically hated every scene that Arkham had to be there. He's like, I don't like you. The fact that I have to work with you is upsetting me.
The fact that I need help is proof of my weakness.
Yeah. Can you imagine how pissed he also is at that point when Arkham, like, plays him? Like, but inside must be like,
He teams up with Dante to fucking kill him.
it's a baddie. That's a good point. Oh my god. I guess let's continue. I think we've talked about everything you brought up so
So
far.
there's no reunion. There's no, oh my god, we're all still alive. There's no sharing.
Yes, because the stakes are continuing being raised because your risen has not been dealt with yet.
Nobody's hugging. Where's my thick Bay Lucia? I'm sorry.
Okay, that's a good point. Like he literally shows the text and the conversation of the fact that Dante's like wants to leave instantly.
Yes,
like, tell me when I need to go so I can
we
leave.
have already talked about what that means.
Yeah.
But he has put forth the hypothesis that it means something else, and therefore it means nothing.
It's
and
strange.
so by putting this here, that is him proving his own argument
Yes.
to him.
It's strange how he's mischaracterizing this scene or misunderstanding it, whichever one you want to take.
Well, of course, this is a scene where all of the characters that he's mischaracterized come together and act in the way that is consistent with their characters. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, this is a bad scene because it doesn't fit the characters that I have in my head.
Yes. Well, yeah. What I was trying to say was that he's either misunderstanding the scene or mischaracterizing it in the way that because the characters aren't discussing certain topics that are pertinent to the story, which is the point, they're not discussing them because of their own interpersonal problems and stories that are going through that are through lines in Devil May Cry 5 as bad because he thinks that those conversations should be happening, but he's not realizing the through lines that the story is actually putting out to you, and is just putting it forward as bad writing.
If he said that, like, why doesn't Lady chime in with something? I could agree with.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Lady does have a surprisingly dialogue. Does she have any dialogue in this scene? I don't think any.
Not really.
She basically says hi and just stands there.
Yeah, but, like, in terms of, like, heart in Team Dante, like, Lady has the most.
Yeah.
And I feel like she would say something to try to get the dialogue flowing. Like the same way that, like, when she finally figures out what is troubling Nero, she talks to him about it.
Yeah.
Like, Nero's pissed off and he doesn't really want to hear it, but she says enough to him so that
gets him thinking, and that's why he jumps
takes a step
out.
back and he goes, okay, I think I need to call Kyrie. I need to hear from people.
Yep.
I need to talk to people I love.
The reason I think that scene's so powerful, at least for Nero, is it opens up his perspective at least a little bit in the way that, like, oh, you're right, there's another solution to this other than killing.
Yes. So the fact that Lady does have a minimized presence in this scene does kind of feel like this scene serves its purpose very well. But I feel like if Lady had more
It could have been
screen
better.
time, like it would have kind of nipped some of these characterizations in the bud. Therefore, they kind of kept Lady out of the scene a little bit. That, I could say, is a legitimate criticism.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
Like, because Dante, like, Trish is not saying anything out of respect for Dante. Like, technically, that's a mistake on Trish's part. Because if she had just come out and said everything, like, talked to Nero, talked to Lady, talked to Nico, got everybody up to speed on the fact that Dante, like, wants to do this by himself, but he probably can't. But he's going to do it because that's just the way he is. Like, people would have, banded together a little bit more. And it's upsetting that they didn't. Because we want to see everybody getting along. We want to see the best case scenario, and this isn't it.
But that's
also the purpose of this scene.
That's also the point of the story, at least at this point, is that...
Which is why they're like, okay, let's just keep Lady out a little bit. And I feel like if they had written it in a way that, like, Lady was otherwise preoccupied, or Nico had been like, no, don't leave the van yet, you're still recuperating, or something like that, then this scene would have been, like, made even more sense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a great scene, but there is it could have been written a bit better. I guess if you really wanted to dig deep into it. Yes, not saying it's a bad scene in any way, shape, or form. This scene
is good and does work.
Yes, because it's once again great that I'm gonna back up.
It just could have worked better.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But like his criticisms are,
it's the worst. This is the case.
They're the
study.
worst, and it's worse than that in the way that, like he says, the scene's just bad, and he also focuses on the wrong aspects of the scene that really have no reason to be criticized.
It is his case study for why Devil May Cry 5 as a whole is bad,
and it's really telling about
his words.
Yeah, okay. Let's continue.
So there's no reunion. There's no, oh my God, we're all still alive. There's no sharing of crucial information that they may or may not even know. The scene starts with Lady, who finally gets out of the van and walks right off screen past Dante.
I'm just gonna double check.
To double check on nothing, because everyone's already there.
Yeah, see, that's my criticism.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's dialogue before that. What's she double checking on? I don't even know.
No, they just, in order to make this scene work, they wrote her out of it.
That's fair, yeah.
That is why, like, if they had just done that a little bit better, the scene would have worked even more.
Yeah, I agree. But okay, let's keep going.
It is, and that the tree is actually upside down, but no one cares, and she still doesn't actually know anything because V is the one who told her and didn't tell anyone else previously because I guess he's afraid of public speaking.
No, he did tell Dante.
7 times, makes Nero feel insecure, and then like a bad horror movie, everyone runs away to cover more ground because Dante let Urizen get away in the first place. Is this really the same game that everyone is saying is the best in the
All right, can we talk about how wrong he is?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go back and do it bit by bit.
How far back? Do you mean just the beginning of this scene?
You can do the whole thing.
All the way back? We already talked about most of it.
All right, well, the Lady thing...
Yeah, we already covered that.
He, like, technically agree with the Lady thing.
Yeah.
I don't agree that it makes the scene bad. I think that in terms of, like, if there was something in this game in which the writing could have been better, that one interaction should have been improved.
I agree.
But let's keep going.
Okay.
Trish reveals what the plot fruit is, and that the tree is actually upside down, but no one cares, and she still doesn't actually know anything because V is the one who told her.
Pause.
She doesn't know anything? We know that she knows quite a bit.
We know that V opened up to her
and told her
about the story of his birth. That doesn't mean that that's when she found out. It's when the audience found out.
It also makes, like, the thing is...
She also was, like, came off, like, extremely intelligent. She's like,
okay, yeah.
I can't fix this problem for you. I'm not your mother. And that doesn't strike me as a reaction to what he heard. That strikes me as someone who's, like, just let him get it off his chest and then was like, dude, I can't help you with that. I'm not your mother.
Yeah.
That we don't know if that's the case.
Oh, wait, I don't know. But
we also don't know if that's the first time she heard it, and I'm betting that it isn't.
In terms of the plot fruit and the Quiflow tree, the wall.
Clipod.
Yeah,
Clipoth.
The thing is, it's not. She doesn't explicitly know that from V, and you can easily assume that she knows that all the way back from Devil May Cry 1, considering she's a demon created by Mundus himself.
I was talking about Urizen being Virgil.
Yeah. But like at least in this scene, he was implying about he was only talking about the plot fruit.
Oh, okay. And also,
which he calls plot fruit, even though, like, yes, it's a fruit that was invented in this game, but it slots pretty well in canon. But that's another conversation we already had.
Like the fact that Urizen is going after the ambrosia, which is what the plot fruit's called, by the way.
Is that what it's really called?
Yeah.
Oh,
I believe. I'm pretty sure.
I don't. Either way, continue.
Like Dante doesn't register that because it doesn't matter to him.
No.
Like, it means, like, I have to get to Urizen faster, probably, but the goal of beating Virgil remains unchanged.
The only information Dante gets out of that is the location of where I need to head to. And then...
and, like, we don't even really have to talk about Nero here, because he doesn't mention Nero.
Well, yeah, it doesn't mention Nero, and like the thing is, like Nero
But,
has
like, Nero is also fucking laser focused on
'cause
Urizen.
He's laser focused on Urizen, but he's also in the scene where he first meets up with Dante again. He tries to have the conversation about dead weight.
He
He tries, and then Dante just
But he-
basically ignores him.
He brings it up angry, and and that's just not constructive.
Oh yeah.
But like, not that Dante would open up to him either way.
Yeah, and also like the Dante like brings. I can't remember if Dante first tells him to get out of here, and then Nero brings it up. I can't remember how the conversation starts, but either way,
I'm coming along with you. Like, it's like I'm coming along with you. Like no, like you can't like come with me. He's like, oh, what are you gonna call me dead weight again?
Oh yeah. Basically both of them are like just trying to have like a half conversation without actually having the conversation.
Yeah.
Once again, it works well for the plot they're going with, but okay, I think that covers everything in that one in this segment because we're about to get to the next one.
And then he says that they all split up.
I was about to say
And like, what's with that? Why are they splitting up?
Because
Oh, he's also
yes,
saying.
he's
Sorry,
afraid of
pause.
public speaking.
He's also saying that Virgil didn't tell anyone that he was. Sorry, V didn't tell anyone that he was Virgil, even though he told Dante.
Well,
Like, he just showed
To be
the
fair, I don't
scene.
think that's what he's talking about right now. Although he's not very
Go back.
explicit. He's not very explicit. Well, because okay, how he structured this is weird.
Everyone's already
Okay,
there.
either way, let him
Trish
talk.
reveals what the plot fruit is,
Plot
and
fruit?
that the tree is actually
Tree?
upside down, but no one cares, and she still doesn't actually know anything because V is the one who told her and didn't tell anyone else previously because I guess he's afraid of public speaking.
So I don't know if he's talking about V's identity being Virgil in this scene, or he's just talking about the plot fruit, which we know which
My God.
we don't know if Virgil even told him anything
V,
about that.
you know, only telling, Dante exactly what he needed to do to get him to go defeat Urizen. Why would he do that? It's almost like he didn't want Dante to know too much and just to beat Urizen.
Well, we're not even talking about that. We're not even talking about Urizen being Virgil. Like, it seems like he's only talking about just the straight
He's
plot
saying,
fruit.
why didn't, like, V give him the whole rundown?
About the plot, about the
About,
plot
like,
fruit.
everything, like, every possible solution.
Well, here's the thing. Also, we don't even know if V knows it. Like, he probably does, but we don't even know if Urizen knows about the plot fruit and the tree. Because we don't have a scene where V tells Trish about that. We only have Trish talking about the fruit through him, and like we can apply that information comes from Devil May Cry 1.
Yes, but also V
Also-
withholding
Oh, in terms of
crucial information from Dante and Nero fits within his character.
Yes, exactly.
And character arc.
Yeah, my point is just this, like how he scripted this is exceptionally confusing, and I don't know what his criticism even is.
Yeah, V's
Is-
like
'cause
a little sneaky.
Yeah, because if he is talking about just V talking about telling Trish about the plot fruit, well, that's wrong. Or if he's talking about, and then also if he's talking, he's wrong either way. But if he's talking about V hiding he's Virgil, then well, you're also wrong. It makes sense he doesn't talk about many people about that.
Keep going.
Moving on.
Dante grabs his balls 7 times, makes Nero feel insecure.
I mean,
Yes and yes.
Yes and
That's
yes.
the point.
He got the hat. He danced with the hat. Well, also, once again, another scene that characterized at least how the comedy works with Nico, as in she's the only one that claps like
Mm-hmm.
woo yeah, and everyone else in the scene's like oh.
It's amazing. Like, Dante and Nico are very obviously characterized as the two jester archetypes, and yet this one is his favorite character and the other is his least favorite.
Yes. It's funny because just that one still frame of her clapping and laughing and Trish almost rolling her eyes like that. Like, how did you see that scene and not get the point of Nico's character?
Mm-hmm. And he's like, and he made Nero feel insecure. Isn't that horrible? It's like, it's exactly what the plot needed. That's the plot.
It's the plot needed, and you can interpret that one of two ways. Either Dante did that on purpose in hopes that it'll galvanize Nero to leave.
No, I don't interpret it that way.
Neither way, that like which I agree with that. Or it's just that Dante's just really not understanding emotionally the conversation happening and just straight saying like leave, and not realizing
It's just him saying like, I did say that, and I just don't want to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's saying. Like, I have so much on my plate right now. I mean, I don't want you here, and I don't want to talk to you about.
Yeah, like, it's
and, I don't want to talk to you about Virgil.
yeah.
And like, so like, not only am I not going to say sorry for the deadweight thing, I'm just going to not address it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like
Goodbye.
I'm just gonna tell you to leave.
That's a lovely story and all, but I got a jet.
Yeah, just like I gotta go. See, bye.
Exactly. He spends the game running towards Virgil and away from Dante or Nero.
Yeah.
He's running away.
Yep. And then the next thing he mentions after Nero, V, and Dante they meet up, Dante's like, "Let's split up."
Yeah, and then in this video essay, he's like, and then they split up. It's like a bad horror movie. Why would they do that?
It's because Dante wants to get there first and take care of it.
Like these actions are character motivated, and he's not really understanding the character motivations. So character motivated actions don't make sense to him.
Yeah, it basically what like the through line for Twin review here is that like he has an idea of what the plot is or should be in his head, and it doesn't, and what happening in the story isn't matching up to it, and so it's like almost confusing him. It's weird. I don't know how to say it.
Okay,
I don't want to say it.
I think that Nero they split up into 3 groups of 1
Yes.
because you need to be able to play as any of them. But from the story, I think Nero would have gone with V.
Yes, that's a
Like
good point.
they meet up again soon later.
Yeah,
But I feel like Nero's character, he would have gone with him the whole time.
yeah, I agree.
But
with that.
like, it's a video game. I get it.
You need a level.
You need to be able to play as V on his own.
yeah,
Okay. But like, could have been like it would have reinforced Nero's good boyness a little bit more.
yeah.
That's
Once again,
it for me.
let's reaffirm: Devil May Cry 5 is amazing, not perfect. There's things that can be improved.
No, nothing exists that is perfect.
But
I can like.
But in terms of how this video portrays it, God damn, Devil May Cry 5 is a masterpiece. Comparatively, how this person's leveling criticism against it. All right, let's keep going.
And then like a bad horror
Okay, we were
movie,
talking about the,
everyone
yep.
runs away
Splitting
to
up.
cover more ground because Dante let Urizen get away in the first place. Is this
Well, for the 5th time, he didn't. He teleported through blood and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just how many times?
How many
do we have
times?
to make each point?
really the same game that everyone is saying is the best in the series?
Yes.
This is embarrassing as
people
hell.
saying
It
it's the
makes
best in the
no
series?
sense.
Yeah, that's a common one.
I mean, I actually think it is.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it. It's like 5-3 Dante's Awakening, 4 SE, 4, and then 1, and no SE, then 1, then 4, then 2.
Okay. Yeah, like, and there's the scene which showcases it very well. Trish just being fed up with the situation.
Nico visibly like happy, and then Trish like visibly disgusted.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna back up a little bit here, but yes, this scene, and like, it's funny how we showcase it. Why this scene actually has a lot of strengths to it. Like, it works. It's a well-constructed scene in conveying the information that needed to be conveyed, character-wise. Could have been a bit better. Yeah, possibly.
And then as he's saying, like, this is like how is this really the game? Like, and he's showing, the Dante Michael Jackson dance.
I'm a little confused by that because it's like, do you not like the Michael Jackson dance? Do you not like Dante being wacky, who crazy pizza
Like,
man?
is
But
it
is that your
embarrassing?
criticism of the scene? I'm confused.
Like, I don't love it.
Oh, it's fun.
But it's what it is a good bit of fun.
Yeah, like
That could have been taken out of the cutscene and nothing would have changed.
Yeah,
It's just tacked on fun.
my confusion is if I'm supposed to be interpreting, because the dialogue's happening at the same time with this. We showing this scene, is he's criticizing the dance part in particular? If so, what is your issue with that? I don't have anything to go off of.
I mean, he touches his testicles, which is something that he didn't do during his, guitar solo for the audience in DMC3.
I don't know. It's a Michael Jackson reference. He's dancing like Michael Jackson.
It's an MJ parody.
I don't know what else you want.
In the same way that the guitar solo in 3 was a hair metal parody.
Yeah.
Like Def Leppard parody. Or, I don't know, a bit harder than Def Leppard. Probably something more akin to, like, Motley Crue.
Yeah. I got nothing
Am I
else.
losing you?
No,
I'm sorry.
no, I was saying, like, I got nothing to say about this, because, like, he's not referencing
Yeah.
anything in particular. I don't know if I'm supposed to be interpreting it from the visuals or not, so I'm
in
just gonna...
DMC3, he's like, kickstand my hat! Ah! And in DMC5, he's like, ooh!
Yeah, I'm
Like, that's the difference in the joke.
just gonna move on, I guess.
Saying it's the best in the series. This is embarrassing as hell and makes no
Oh, he
sense.
did say that that's
There
embarrassing.
is one
Yep.
good scene where Dante finally
Well, I
tells
think
Nero-
he's talking about he's saying that to the scene in general. I don't know if he's talking about the dancing scene. If that's embarrassing.
Well, who knows?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
that Virgil is his father, but it's completely undercut
Hold
by
on.
the scene where Dante finally tells Nero that Virgil
Hold on. Back up.
makes no sense. There is one good scene
Oh, he
where
likes it.
Dante finally tells Nero that Virgil is his father, but it's completely undercut by the fact that, like, shouldn't this conversation have happened already?
The whole point is no, like it had to happen now when Virgil's literally standing in the room is the only time Dante is going to be like, okay, Nero, well, okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
He's like, he likes the plot of Devil May Cry, but he thinks that the entire plot of Devil May Cry 5 should have been Nero knowing that Virgil was his father and dealing with that.
Well, I don't even know. I don't even know if he's saying that much. He's just.
He's saying that like Nero knowing that Virgil is his father. Good scene. I wish it had happened earlier.
No, I think he's saying that in terms of he thought it's story-wise it should have happened earlier because he's confused about why Dante wouldn't talk to Nero about it. When we're talking about why Dante doesn't do that.
So you think he's not talking about how like exploring Nero could have been good? He's saying that Dante is like my image of Dante is better than this, and no, he's honorable and good and cool, and he would have told him absolutely.
I think you're reading too much into it in the first place. It's not nothing to even do with any of that. It's just he thinks that conversation would have happened earlier and it doesn't seem to be.
It would have happened earlier. Why would it have happened earlier?
Well, that's the thing he's not exploring. I don't think he's thinking that deep. I think that's what's. I think that's what he's just. These are the story elements, and I don't understand why they're not intersecting until now, when there is an actual reason going on. He just doesn't see it or doesn't understand it or is misrepresenting it. I don't know which one of those three it is, but I think that's what he's going with as Twin Review.
Okay, so it's
unfortunately you're ascribing too much thought to it.
Instead of it being something, what you're telling me is that it's nothing.
Yes. Or at the very least,
Great.
there's very little that I can read into because he's not giving us anything besides just.
All right, well let's
scene is
keep
good
going for a couple more
but
seconds.
Scene is bad.
Keep going.
I know.
Let's see.
There is one good scene where Dante finally tells Nero.
I'm glad
that
at least
Virgil's
he likes
his
it.
father, but it's completely undercut by the fact that, like, shouldn't this conversation have happened already at some point? And then later in the van, everyone's like,
Okay, yeah, that's the
So
end.
it was nothing. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying like
God damn
it's
it.
weird how it's like like his citations are this scene was good except it wasn't because it didn't happen earlier, and then doesn't explore that thought anymore. It's annoying because like tell me why. At least we're getting scenes as references now.
Yeah, this is more specific than he has been for 3 episodes, which is good.
This is good. We're getting better, but I need a reason as to why. Why do you think it should have happened earlier? Because Dante should. Like,
I'm really trying to come off. Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's fine.
I'm really trying to come off as not being an asshole.
I know,
to
I
him.
know.
Like personally, it's difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
I'm trying to give him the biggest benefit as possible. The problem is I just don't understand what his criticism is a lot of the time.
We don't have a lot of like specific criticisms to talk about. We have a lot of broad general statements.
The worst part is I have to assume what his criticism is a lot of the time.
And in order to do that, we have to get into his headspace because we can't just talk about the plot or the characters or character motivations. Like, we have to talk about what he thinks about them or what he believes to be the response to his videos. Or
Well, at least in the opening, yeah, that's true. But like at least scenes like this, like
this is
there's
starting
nothing
to
go
get
off
there, and it's been 25 minutes. I'm not. Fuck. 7 hours. I'm sorry.
We're at the car scene now, so let's see what he has to say about that because we've talked about the scene quite a bit.
I like
now.
the scene a lot.
So let's see what he has to say.
conversation have happened already at some point? And then later in the van, everyone's like, Virgil's your father? Well, I guess that makes sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, didn't anyone have an actual conversation about this at any point since the last game? At all?
Well, hold on.
And then they're off to stop.
Okay. I mean, the only one that knew was Dante, and he obviously doesn't tell anyone.
He hides it for a reason stated by us numerous times.
Yeah, and the only one that
And Trish, even in that, says she's like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, I kind of had a hunch.
Yeah,
It's like, but I didn't want to talk to Dante about it because, like, do you think he would talk about it? Like,
it's just okay. That's a strange criticism. Because,
no, this is what I'm talking about. He's saying like, I like Dante. Dante is good and better than this. He would have he would have said something.
I don't know if he's saying that, but yeah, like I agree with what you're saying there. Like it's at the very least, it's a strange criticism to have in the way that like shouldn't this conversation happen earlier? Like no, it makes sense. It hasn't happened until now.
Yeah, like the plot of Devil May Cry 5 explicitly like shows to you that Dante is and always has been flawed, and Dante is his big favorite.
I just don't know. Because I come back to I don't know what his criticism, explicitly is. But yeah.
I will say that the fact that after DMC4, like the fact that they are so similar, and we talked about this, the fact that they're so similar never came up in conversation, just is a gag.
What? Who's similar?
The fact that Nero and Dante are so similar and they just never talk about it.
Oh yeah. In 4, it's very much a gag.
It's a gag.
Like they both have white hair, both have demon power. Oh god.
Yeah, it's silly in 4. And you go like,
and then it's 5 because it's fun because
then in 5 it's a major plot point.
They use it to expand upon.
Yeah.
But like I don't know what to say to that. That it doesn't make sense that the conversation didn't happen earlier. Like no, it makes sense. It's the main plot of the game.
If Dante had come out like to Nero with his like had basically spilled his secrets, we would have been like, what an incredible character moment for Dante. Like, where did this come from? He just opened the fuck up. What an like, good for you, Dante.
Okay,
you're growing right now.
It's even worse because it's like, okay, if I go by his logic and he thinks this conversation should have happened earlier, then at least in terms of the evidence proposed in Devil May Cry 5, where Dante says he knew he was Virgil's son by how the Amato reacted to him, it should have been the scene in Devil May Cry 4 where they fight in that like bedroom. You're like, hey, this might be a little hard to take in, but like, let me get my family chart out real quick. So this is me. This is my big butt. This is my Sparta. This is my stupid butt-faced brother, who I love but I don't talk about.
He's my stupid butt-faced brother.
And like,
just in the background, you're like, don't give him the satisfaction.
And Dante's just sitting there like, okay, so my dad's dead. I have never fucked anyone, and so. And so the last one
I don't even know how.
And the last one is my brother. So, welcome to the family.
Gets out a little Sharpie and starts doodling on it.
Oh, it's Doodle's little Nero face.
Here's you, and here's your ugly, probably mom.
yeah, Virgil probably couldn't possibly gotten with anyone hot at all. I hang out with ladies all the time.
Yeah, I have a real girlfriend, though, but she lives in Canada. You wouldn't know her.
I left her on an island. She has red hair.
My thick Bay Lucia. God damn it. Everyone loves my thick Bay Lucia, but they're just too afraid to talk about it.
Oh no, there's so many inside jokes about this now. Alright, let's go.
I'm Virgil, and actually this is a great scene here where Lady, Trish, and Nico all look around and say 3 different versions of the exact same thing.
What's happening now?
Oh god, I thought it was over. This isn't good.
There is no characterization here, at all.
Does there have to be characterization in this scene?
It's them explaining to the audience what's happening.
I know, like
if the thing had just started collapsing, we would have been like, oh, okay, it's collapsing. What happened to everybody else? This is them saying, look at these people. They saw that it's collapsing, and now they're leaving.
Like, I mean, if his overall criticism is that there's not much characterization
I'm
for
sorry,
Lady and
he
Trish.
just said there's not much characterization here. I'm like, oh, now you're looking for it?
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. Like, if your overall criticism of the entire game is there's not much characterization for Lady or Trish, I'm like, yeah, it's true.
There isn't as much as there could be.
There's not much could be.
There's not none.
Like, the main point of their character, the main point of the story isn't about them, so it makes sense.
Each one of them had their own game.
But this is also
for characterization.
It doesn't have to be, like, why this one scene? Do you really need it?
Because there isn't much, and so he can say that there isn't much.
I mean, he's not wrong. I guess I can't fault him for being wrong on this one.
He found a scene where there isn't much characterization. Congratulations, but that's not evidence for Devil May Cry 5 being the worst story.
The hard truth, Austin.
Yeah.
It's the hard truth.
The hard truth is that this scene could be better.
Oh,
You're
no.
right.
Yeah, I guess he's right. Moving on.
Everyone is interchangeable, and I don't give a damn about anyone. Dante tells them to all fuck off, and they do, because there's no reason anyone is in this game in the first place.
Oh god, he's getting angry now.
Dante tells them all to fuck off because he's We've said it a million times! This game would have ended better if they had said, no, Dante, you're wrong, we're coming with you.
It's Dante's war. Why did I go
Like,
Do you bleed, Virgil? You will.
Like, yes, he tells everyone to fuck off because 2 reasons. He's fighting now recombined Virgil.
We've talked about it so many times.
I know. Okay. Yeah. I guess we'll just move on. But like, there's reasons. Let's just say that there may possibly be a few reasons.
Like, this is Dante mid-growth. Not really mid-growth, actually. Like, this is Dante post being forced to talk about Virgil and pre being basically awoken by Nero. So this is him still like, well, I gotta talk about Virgil. I have to, but I still don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, it's true.
I want to deal with it on my own. Everybody go away. I got this. Like, this is pre Nero punch face.
And then there's Dante.
Oh, okay.
He's a wreck. He's
Yes.
worse than a wreck.
Yes.
He's a wreck, not because he was stuck in the underworld, not because he has some overwhelming trauma.
Okay. Well, hold on.
Of course he's a wreck because he has some overwhelming trauma.
But yes. I'm gonna let him finish this. But I want to remember. You already admitted this. 2 is moved back. 2 is not before 5 anymore. It's 4-5.
Okay, no. This is what I think is happening. He's seeing Dante's like real flaws, and I think he's seeing them for the first time because they're so overt in this one.
I think so. Okay, let's let him
Because
finish.
he's going to say like Dante was never like this, and we go, yeah, he was.
Let's let him finish. But like, dude, you already talked about it. 2 is moved back. We already know you don't like the decision, but you have to acknowledge what canon is now. Yeah.
He's a wreck, not because he was stuck in the underworld, not because he has some overwhelming trauma. They kind of Thored him. They Luked him.
Oh.
They decided to make Dante the most childish possible version of the character.
What?
Make room for someone else to take over the series. And it sucks.
No, he's
Because
always
Dante
been like this.
is not a leader. He's not intelligent.
He never
at
was.
all.
It's been a while since I used my brain this much.
He's pushed away all of the ladies in his life. His business is failing. He lets Morrison treat him like a child because he is one. He spends most of his time sitting alone in the dark because he can't pay his bills.
He's always done this!
Is a bum.
He's always done this!
Useless.
You're describing his character!
He doesn't tell other characters crucial bits of information.
Yes!
Dubious whether or not he actually understands this information, and he bungles almost everything he does, even though he's given plenty of time and opportunity to do things right.
Okay, pause. Okay, pause.
I think this is going on for a while.
Look.
Oh,
the
no.
difference between the difference between Nero's interaction with Dante and Luke Skywalker's interaction with whatever her name was, Rey, is Dante is like has personal failings and always had, but they're really noticeable here because this is a personal problem that he's dealing with in an unhealthy way. And Nero doesn't say like Nero says like we can settle this a different way. You can be better than this. And he does. Rey beats up Luke Skywalker and says, "You're wrong. I'm going to be better than you."
Then takes his lightsaber back, takes the Millennium Falcon, and goes and beats up a room full of guards.
Nero is respectful. Rey is an asshole.
If you want to get farther into it, for Luke, they invented a bunch of things that happened in a time skip that we don't see that caused him to become sad and depressed and unrecognizable. Dante, they created a story that highlights the problems he's always had for Devil May Cry 5.
What an... What was the other thing they said that they did to him? Who was the other character?
Thored him.
Oh, I don't know that.
You haven't seen Endgame yet, so you can't. We can't talk about that. Which again, I would argue is not a good comparison as well. But
I mean, Dante didn't get fat. I mean, that I saw him; he was real fat.
yeah,
He was a big fat Thor.
we should watch Endgame at some point.
Yeah. I can steal my brother's Disney Plus. He got Disney Plus.
Oh, cool. Either way, moving on.
His wife loves Star Wars, and so they had a Mandalorian.
Dude, Mandalorian's really good.
I've seen the first episode.
It's really good.
Hey, guess what?
It gets better.
It's not a response, but we could talk about that. Do you like? People have asked us. We've already got a a request to do a similar video to this about the God of War series. I've already got a request to do a similar video about this to Nier, the series. Well, they wanted Nier Automata. Automata. I mispronounced it the first time, I think, with Automata, and now I'm just doing it forever now.
I don't know.
And then I have a couple other videos I want to do this to. So
I don't know where you're going with this.
I don't know. I forget what I was talking about.
I
and I'm just like, thank you.
Yay!
Like,
Back.
like I want to do discussions like that.
Yeah.
And because you were, I forget what you were talking about, but it was, you wanted to talk about The Mandalorian. And I'm like, we can do that.
Oh, did
But
did
like,
I? Oh, I don't
yeah,
know.
you were like, The Mandalorian's good. And I'm
I
like,
was saying,
are we talking about it?
I mean, now we're on a horrible tangent.
I know.
What are we talking about?
But like, if you guys like, what this video format is, Reesponse. Reesponse is basically responding or like dissecting video essays. That's what. Almost said your name, Kaiser Kraken. Although my name's Austin. Do you mind if I just drop your name every now and again?
That's fine.
Ian. Can I tell them your social security number?
I prefer you not to.
All right.
Only like special occasions.
Okay.
Once we get like 50 episodes in, we'll do social security reveals.
We're wearing balaclavas and everything, and then we just hold up our cards.
Like maybe my tax return on the 100th one.
What the fuck is wrong with us? But like I don't like if someone like really wants to hear us like dissect a series, not from like something like this, but like just talking about it. Like I think we could do a separate series about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely professionals. We put this in the middle of the video instead of at the end.
We can end this whenever we want. This could be the end.
It's not though. Fuck you. We're here for the long hauls.
Oh!
Did you just kill yourself?
Oh, my fucking cock!
What did you do?
I just went like this. I just turned in my wheelie chair to like make a really loud sip on my wine.
Did you Goldberg your machine your own
And then
penis?
I fucking popped my pelvis. Oh my god, it really hurts.
So Dante is the worst he's ever
Play
been.
the video while I deal with testicular torsion.
I feel like we were in the middle of talking about something. Moving on. I'm going to draw it back a little bit and we'll keep going.
He's waiting to die. He doesn't tell
Waiting to die? He's not waiting to die. He's living his life. He's not living it exactly to the fullest, but Dante's never... He's been a live in the moment kind of guy.
I'm good. Okay. Yeah. I really don't see... Like, Dante is flawed. Therefore, Dante has failed. Because we're obviously seeing a guy who loves Dante and did not see his flaws.
I will say, I was steel manning this guy the entire time. You were right though. You saw from the very beginning that his main issue was that Dante's not how I think he would is. Damn it.
Dante is the legendary devil hunter. Why isn't he cool? Why isn't he being fucking awesome?
He's still awesome in this game, but it's
still great.
It's just highlighting the flaws he's always had. He's always had an issue with like talking about doing his own issues. I mean, like even back in Devil May Cry 1, which is honestly back when you can argue is most competent, at least in the fact that like it's not implied his business is failing. It's the only game they don't imply that.
They imply that his business has at least had customers because he's like, what's the password?
Yes. That's the only one, and obviously that was changed. Not really changed, but like it progressed with 4 because that's the next continuation of it. But either way, moving on with train of thought. It's coming back around. Choo choo. The fuck was I saying?
You were talking about Dante's competence in 1.
Oh yeah, his confidence in 1, but but even in 1, you he when it comes to personal issues, he's a little narrow-sighted. He goes to the island, which is clearly a trap set by Mundus.
It's totally a trap.
It's literally some lady motorcycles through his front door.
That was finely crafted to look just like his dead mommy.
Motorcycles his front door, machine guns him multiple times and stabs... Actually, not how there's machine guns. She stabs him and electrocutes him.
And then he juggles the bike.
And then she's like, I have a job for you. Come to this island where Mundus is being resurrected.
The most physically retarded thing he could possibly have done is to just say okay and go there alone. Which is exactly what he does.
Like, the thing it's easily like it's obviously implied that he knows it's a trap, but he doesn't care. It's his chance to actually face Mundus, the one that killed his mom.
Frankly, the most competent and intelligent he's ever been is in 2. Because, like, he goes there, like, he takes a job, he goes to the job, a paying job. And he goes there, and he's like, oh, I can handle this, and then he does.
Yeah. And then motorcycles off into hell.
Not getting paid, by the way. But that's his most competent.
Yes.
That's him at his fucking best.
And then in 3, he opens up a place, furbishes it entirely without even opening yet.
Didn't even name it. He gets a customer and is surprised, fucking flabbergasted that someone came to see him. He's like, what, do you need to use the bathroom or something?
And then in 4, I'm trying to remember, because I think they're only in the special edition, those cutscenes, but he's just hanging around.
In 4, he gets a job and refuses it multiple times. Lady forces him to go.
And, like, I'm not going to reference...
But yes, technically he's more competent than in 5 because the lights were on.
Yeah, I'm not going to reference the anime, because that's tentatively canon, so I'm not going to talk about it, even though, even though the anime lines up very close with 5. What did you do to yourself?
I'm adjusting my coccyx, don't worry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm okay.
How old are you?
I am 25 going on 70.
Jesus Christ. You're going to wake up next year just like, oh, where's my bread pudding?
My bones are dust!
Oh no! Moisturize me!
Mac's gonna be like, hey, how you feeling? I'm like, brittle! I'm feeling extra brittle today. Do you have any calcium? I need it very badly.
Get my spare skeleton. Alright, what else you got to say?
There's crucial bits of information. It's dubious whether or not he actually understands this information.
It is not dubious.
I'm sorry, go back for a second. Watch him look at him walking away.
Character's crucial bits of information. It's dubious whether
Damn,
or
that
not
hair
he
looks good.
actually understands this information.
Sorry.
It's not dubious to understand the information. He clearly understands all of it. It's just he doesn't
It's
want to
his
talk about
character. We've talked about it.
it. I know.
We've talked about it.
But he
I'm
says
just saying, like, man,
he keeps
those
saying it, man.
Those hair physics are alright.
He just keeps saying it over and over again. It's like he's not listening to us.
It's called this video. This series is called Reesponse. Have you seen my outro? My outro.
Oh God.
We into the void because we know no one's there.
Plenty of time and opportunity to do things right. The entire game.
We do this so one day we hope the Abyss will back. All right, what'd you say? I'm sorry, I talked over you.
Even though he's given plenty of time and opportunity to do things right.
Yes, he's given many chances
Well,
to be better, and he doesn't.
Well, in this, he's talking about the times where air quotes, he let Urizen and Virgil get away, even though he didn't. The first time, he stepped backwards once into his big pool of blood and disappeared. The second time, Dante just had the fight of his life against a uber-powered Urizen, and then Virgil slapped him in the stomach. And then Virgil teleported away before Dante could get to him.
And sorry, what I just said there was like he was given many chances to be better and doesn't.
Yes.
That's not, that's good. That's a good thing for this story.
For characterization for Dante, yes.
So, like, in order for Dante to, like, come out of his shell, basically, because that shell, by the time that 5 comes around, is fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's near impenetrable.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, if it had happened earlier, like, there would need to be some sort of catalyst for him to come out and just basically pour his heart out to Nero. Like, if he had, like, started to have conversations with, like, Lady and Trish, like, that would make more sense because he's been with them for a while. Those are the people that he's most comfortable around, even though that doesn't really mean much to Dante.
Yeah. Well,
but in order for him to, like, open up to Nero earlier in this story, there would have had to be something major.
The thing is, like, you have to think of if you lay out what could possibly be a catalyst for Dante to talk about these things, you basically get one thing: it's Virgil coming back and standing in the room with him and Nero, like his nightmare scenario of like, oh fuck.
Yeah, and we're also not saying that because Dante didn't open up about these things that he's bad.
No, he's not bad in any way, shape, or form.
Like
it's almost not even it's not even like a failing.
This isn't fucking like Star Wars Last Jedi talk. Like, Dante's fucking awesome in this.
Yes, both
like his character flaws are super interesting.
Yes, and the thing is, his character flaws don't even make him a bad person.
No, and you can, like, and when he finally kind of, like, snaps out of it, when Nero kind of, like, takes over for him, you can see how, like, visibly relieved he is. Like, he understands the mistake he made. But, I mean, he still plays it off. But, like...
You almost broke my jaw.
When Virgil's like, you know, like, if I beat Nero, then by default I beat you, and like, oh, you know, I could still fight, but we need to save the world. Dante's like, I'm on board, dude. Just say the word.
This is also in the realm of an interpretation that's not really like back upable, but I even like you can interpret that scene as well as when Virgil jumps on the out of if I fight Nero, then I can if I beat him, or even if I lose to him, it ends the fight with me and Dante, without anyone dying. It's almost like Virgil like being happy he is an out in that scenario.
Maybe
like that. As I said, that there's no way you can back that up. It's just a fun interpretation. Really, what?
This isn't concrete though, but him saying, "If our roles had been reversed, would I be where you are and would you be where I am?" means he's thinking about it.
Exactly, yes.
He's interested in what his life could have been or could be without his single-minded, maniacal lust for power.
Yes.
And then, so, just the fact that he considers it makes, if I beat Nero, then by extension I beat you, way more plausible.
Yes, which is also why...
As, like, a real statement from him.
Yeah, which is also why I really like that final fight, because of that conversation beforehand, because it really recontextualized it, instead of it being a fight like it was in 3, but between Dante and Virgil having different ideas of... I don't want to say justice, but in terms of just their personal life philosophies, Dante just wanting to... kind of do what's right in terms of what he believes in terms of stopping Virgil from doing something you could argue is evil, and Virgil just be only like having his life goal just being only about obtaining power, and in him trying to like both of them mostly trying to assert their philosophy as the dominant one. Not even though that's what they're trying to do, but it's just sort of in terms of like that's what the fight represents. In 5, it's more about Dante. Virgil is basically saying with that whole like if our rules were reversed is more of like, I guess it's just what we do. There's no, he doesn't see an out to their fight. He just says like this is the fate that we both share of fighting until one of us is dead. And so, like, we have to do. I have to fight and to see which one of our philosophies or which one of our stances and birth paths was the correct one. He thinks that's the only way it's supposed to play out.
What makes like
which is even better than when Nero jumps in, stops the fight, and gives them gives both of them the third option.
Yeah, he doesn't just stop Virgil; he stops Dante.
Yes, and that's why it's such a good scene. He stops the fight between the two of them. It's not just one in the wrong. They're both in the wrong. I gave you a
ton of shit for using this term. But that's the closest that this family drama has ever gotten to Shakespearean. Yeah! Shut up.
All right. Now let's come off of that high of the amazing storytelling.
Oh, I'm high as fuck.
Devil May Cry 5, and let's talk about...
I just used the term Shakespearean.
Well, let's see what his counter is to that.
The entire game is apparently his fault anyway, because he forgot to tell Virgil that his mom loved him. The only thing this Dante can do...
He never had a chance! But, like, I mean, oh, God, you can argue that he maybe should have said it in 3, but even then, there's not much of a good situation.
Yeah, it's Dante not sharing something important about his feelings.
Well, okay.
Where's that ever happened?
In 3, it makes sense because in 3, Dante's extremely, like, inwardly focused in that game. He only at the end does he become external, but then by that point... Is the entire conflict is he wants to stop Virgil. He's not even thinking about Virgil's headspace about why he's doing these things so
No, they're both pretty young.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't, like, young, but they're, like, 18. You remember how much of a shit... Well, I was more of a shit. But do you remember how much of a shit I was when I was 18?
Oh, God, you were awful.
Thanks.
But yeah, that's the point, is that, like, it still works within the story structure of not having that conversation.
Yeah.
It makes sense that after years of ruminations, after the events of Devil May Cry 1, that Dante, the first time he sees Virgil, is like, I kind of want to tell him this.
Dante, that was just one emotional intelligence mistake in a long, long line of emotional intelligence mistakes. Like, his fucking peak is Devils Never Cry. Which is a fucking lie, by the way.
Like, yeah.
a cheesy, sappy one-liner to Trish, totally pulled out of his ass. Like, when that is him at his absolute most broken, just saw his mother basically die again. Like, and we get light, and like, Devils Never Cry. Like, that's the best it's ever been for him. In terms of, like, emotional intelligence.
Yep. But it makes sense that he would still have some scars, having the whole fact of he thought Virgil was dead, and then he has killed him again. Again.
But now... Like...
But now he like...
Now he's literally got basically a clean slate and dozens of years to talk with his brother.
Yep.
You know all those fucking, like... Don't ever do this.
Oh, God. Okay.
But if you ever just, like, Google, like, Virgil Dante and, like, Google image search, there's a lot of, like, very cute fan comics about them, like, sharing an apartment or, like, playing with Nero.
There's one that I enjoy quite a bit, which is just like, after the events of Devil May Cry 5, that they all just are hanging out in the Devil May Cry 5 office at that point.
What, eating shawarma?
Pretty much. And there's a bunch of different comics, and they're all extremely entertaining. The one that I enjoy the most is that, I think it's like Lady and Nero just going through, and they found a photo album. They're like, hey, look at this. And it's a bunch of pictures from, like, the previous Devil May Cry 5, Devil May Cry games. And they flip to one page, and it's DMC. And Virgil and Dante are like, burn it!
Yeah, but basically what I'm saying is that while not, like, cutesy, fruitsy, like, Undertale, like, fandom stuff, but, like, those genuine interactions, that kind of family dynamic between Virgil and Dante is technically possible now.
Yes.
And that fucking excites me.
Yes, exactly. The thing that's great about it is that for Devil May Cry 6, whenever it happens, the thing I'm most interested in is just seeing the character interactions that can transpire. I'm not even that like, in terms of, like, other story, I'm like, I don't really care. I just want to see what the interactions are going to be. I'm sure it'll be good regardless.
It's like Nero's dicking around in Fortuna trying to find something. He gets a fucking codec call from Virgil. He's like,
hey, Nero, can you get me some of that Coke? The human world food is great.
Virgil, I've started writing poetry on my own. Would you like to hear one? What, Dad? Sorry, you're breaking up. Fucking Dante's playing League of Legends again. The internet in hell is terrible. Get off the fucking phone!
Get back to your lane!
League of Legends, fucking wanker.
Alright. Let's keep going with Dante.
I don't know. I mean, no, it will never get that stupid.
No, God, yeah.
But, like, genuine... Like, there's so much you can do. There's so much to unpack there.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I hate to admit it, and it was terribly, terribly done, but, like, the way that sibling rivalry can become childish is very funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the way that Dante and Virgil will attempt to one-up each other without it openly coming to blows is technically really funny.
Oh,
in DMC, it just goes like, I'm better, and he's like, I've got a bigger dick. Like that's stupid.
Yeah.
But the premise is funny,
and that's why I really like it at the very end of Devil May Cry 5, where they're having their duels, and he's like, "Oh, what up for me? He's like, Where'd you learn to count?" Yeah. Like that, you're just like, "Yay!"
It's Nero's birthday. What'd you get him? Virgil's like, I got him a fucking Nintendo 3DS. Dante's like, I got him a gift card. Virgil's like, loser.
My gift
card
bigger.
for $400. I hate you, Dante. Don't give him the satisfaction.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
I just laughed so hard I almost popped my fucking dick back into place.
All right, let's keep going.
The only thing he's good at is pulling off sick-ass moves and running over goats and lizards with his motorcycle.
It's cool.
There's no life in this character anymore.
Oh, like, it's so disingenuous. Like, I'm not going to get too far into it, but, like, we've spent more than 7 hours now discussing about why... Well, okay, not all of it's about Dante, but regardless, a lot of that time is about why Dante's character in Devil May Cry 5 is actually great and like really well thought out. And it also is well backed up by the previous games that happened before it. His character is not lifeless. It's a continuation.
Yes. I mean, he went really hard on this. Like, Dante isn't, like, cool and the center of attention and perfect anymore to me. Therefore, he's Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi.
Oh, that's a hard comparison to make there.
Like, there are things that are happening in media right now that are destroying legacy characters. He's right. Like,
that's true, I guess, yeah.
Like, there are... But, like, inventing reasons for your characters to be bad in order to make new characters look better by comparison is happening.
Yes.
Like, Star Wars, Terminator Dark Fate. Like, it's been done. It will continue to happen.
This is true. But Devil May Cry 5 is not one of them.
Devil May Cry 5 is building an interesting character story about Dante and his brother and his
Nero.
nephew.
Yep.
By spotlighting flaws that he has already had and works through. Admittedly, like there had to be an intervention for him to work through them, but he works through them.
Yeah.
Like, he's a better person at the end of 5 than he is at the beginning. Luke Skywalker is not a better person than he was at the end of 5. Like,
arguably worse.
At the end of The Last Jedi, technically he gives his life for the rebellion, but he just dumps his problem into, like, 12 people's laps.
Let's just not even...
like, fuck it.
Let's not even go there. There's so much to say about that one. Oh.
And fucking Terminator, they had to invent... they had to invent a new Arnold to then have him come back to then be worse than the other characters.
Oh.
Like, that's not what we're seeing here in Devil May Cry 5.
Exactly.
And guess what? I'm really upset about when it happens, so I'm looking for it everywhere. And I don't see it here. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah. I agree with all of that. All right. Let's finish this section out.
Also, his new sword looks like an artichoke. I hate it. I hope...
In terms of... Okay,
no, that...
Visual complaint. What do you agree?
I don't like what he said. I disagree. But that is a specific problem that he has with the game. He doesn't like the design of the Devil Sword Dante.
I can't argue with his opinion.
It looks like a weird blend of Rebellion and Sparta. Rebellion, I like. Sparta, we talked about this. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I think Devil Sword Dante looks like what Sparta should have looked like. Does that mean that I think it's a perfect design? No,
Also,
but I don't think it looks like a weird artichoke.
I agree with that. If gun on my head, if I was to talk about Devil Sword Sparta and what I like and didn't like, I would say the blade itself I think looks awesome in terms of the hard edged blade intercut with like the this almost like scaly charcoal.
It's got that like
black
warped Damascus steel kind of looking shit.
Yep, cool. I think it looks great. The only thing I would complain about is the hilt with the claws. I think looks a little silly. That's all I can really bring up.
I will also say that the community at large also not super fans of the Devil Sword Dante because there are a lot of mods that change the design. Like, a lot.
There's a lot of really good designs, though, I will say. Yeah. Like, that I've seen for mods, like, damn.
But I would say vanilla, like, DSD, I don't hate it.
I don't have much complaints about it at all. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm not saying he's wrong,
but my favorite sword is Force Edge. Like, that's my shit.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
I like a minimalist, like, more classical sword designs. Like, when I first saw Rebellion in, what was it, 3?
Yeah, Rebellion for shows.
I thought it looked kind of stupid. I'm like, big skull, really?
Fair.
But that's when I was young and too cool.
You weren't into it.
Yeah, I was
you didn't understand yet.
I was like, what the fuck is this Shadow the Hedgehog bullshit? Now we like play fucking Warhammer 40k games. We're like, is that a skull? Yeah! Add that to the skull counts.
More skulls. Oh god, but
I don't have a Punisher shirt, but I do like skulls. Put
this on like the third tally of opinions that like criticisms he's had that I will allow him to have.
Yeah, okay,
because it is a subjective opinion.
You don't like the sword. I'm not amazed with it either.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Cool. Fair enough.
I hope this is the last time I have to see him, because to see Dante like this is worse than seeing Dante like this. I'm just so
okay. Disconnected from everything that we've talked
The
about,
Dante that I love is gone. Therefore,
I
this
can-
Dante, get rid of him.
I can understand that sentiment.
No, so can I. I
Yes.
did the thing with the Tom Clancy.
Yes. The thing is, I can understand that sentiment. In terms of Devil May Cry 5, no, I don't understand it at all, because this game's great. But in terms of, like, seeing a beloved character being made into a shadow of himself and just being pranced around to sell merchandise or the next installment of a franchise, I can understand that.
Merchandising.
Merchandising.
Rise of Skywalker, the breakfast cereal. Rise of Skywalker, the flamethrower. Kids love this one.
Elon Musk approved. But, okay, either way.
Elon
like,
Musk has now, by the way, banned ball bearings or on all other large metal balls from every single Tesla studio or Tesla factory. There will be no more large metal balls near my Cybertruck.
Large metal balls, how'd you know my only weakness?
Sledgehammers are fine, but large metal balls.
All right.
Oh my god.
But,
Thrown, by the way, by like the lankiest looking motherfucker on the stage. It goes fucking almost right through it. I'm sorry, we're talking about the Cybertruck.
should have been Keanu Reeves that threw that ball.
Keanu Reeves, like armor penetrating, arm throwing capability.
It could have worked because they could have had a backup. They could have had it so that then like someone comes out and then like he turns around, then he comes back out and he's the silver arm from Cyberpunk.
Elon Musk's like, that's breathtaking. And he's like, you're breathtaking.
You could have saved the whole presentation with that.
Could have just, given us a sooner release date for Cyberpunk. I'm kidding. No, put it off. Delay it again.
Make it better.
Exactly. Every time you delay it, I'm like, what are you fixing? Keep going.
All right.
More.
Either way, back to the topic at hand, though. I can understand that sentiment, and I actually almost sympathize with it. Cause
I do too.
If this is how you view Devil May Cry 5 and Dante, I feel really bad for you. Not in terms of like a pity thing, but just in terms of like, I'm there with other franchises.
You're allowed to not like it.
You're not allowed to not like it. And like, I'm there with other franchises. I know that pain.
Yeah. I disagree.
I disagree with it. But the thing is, like I can understand.
I'm not going to come to your house and like put a gun to your head and be like, you're going to buy 6. You're going to buy Devil May Cry 5. You're going to buy Devil May Cry 5, 6. You're going to buy Devil May Cry 6 and you're going to like it. Like, I'm not doing that. No one's going to do that.
No.
If this is your last entry in the series for whatever reason, that's fine.
That's fine. I understand, but like I disagree with it. But I understand. All right, let's look.
Disappointed with how Itsuno sees the character that now I only hope
Sad music,
he can
though.
finally let Dante rest in an eternity of pointless battle against his even stupider evil twin.
Oh, come on.
Done took the one thing that I thought was impossible to take from this character. They made Dante not cool.
Just you put it on screen, it makes it true.
He's totally cool.
I don't see that.
In this, he thought it was too, like he tried to keep up the too cool persona, and then when he finally dropped it, I think he became way more fucking cool.
Yeah.
And the battle with his brother is no longer pointless.
I was gonna say also to rewind that, like
They're having fun now.
they're not gonna have the battles forever, and even if they do, they're fun sparring
They're
contests between the two of them.
smiling,
Yeah.
like joking around, also fighting other dudes.
Where'd you learn to count?
Yeah, he's fucking Dante's popping up his fucking catchphrase.
Don't you say it.
Yeah.
The whole point of that is that like it's the only way they know how to connect because they kind of have a dysfunctional life, but they're connecting through their combat, through sparring and training with each other.
They're fucking smiling at each other.
It warms my heart. Like I feel bad for bringing it up, but at the same time I don't. I'm like, that's a great scene. I like that scene. Like, it hurt. It feels good.
You remember when?
It feels good.
Remember when he first got up to the top of the Clyphod, and Virgil goes, "How many times have we fought?" And Dante goes, "It's the only memory I have of us of when we were kids." And then Virgil kind of gives off this half-cocked, like, like tiny little smirk.
Yeah.
That just to me looked kind of sad. To me, looked kind of sad.
And
then when they're in hell, Virgil's like smiling, like, "Well, we got plenty of time to find out."
Yeah.
Like
There's also,
they're different people.
yeah, and there's also like when Virgil gets, Dante gets to the top. I'm forgetting exactly where this frame takes place, but you remember that profile image where Dante has like almost like a small smirk / sad smile when he gets to the very top. I don't know if I'm interpreting it properly, but like it's almost like it's just like I've reached the end. This is going to be the final time, sort of
then
feeling.
could you imagine in DMC 6, like Nero's going through a hard time, or like he finds out that his mom was like or whatever, and then he like has to. They're like, oh no, there's like a contingent of like angels or something that are also like whatever. Like that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like something that is extremely dangerous to Nero, and he's going up against them, and then he gets saved by like Dante and Virgil come out of the screen and like fucking X-cut, and then you see then like maybe like a Dutch angle, and they both kind of like almost like shoulder to shoulder, and the fucking like Power Rangers explosions going on in the back. Dante's like, "We them boys."
Yeah.
Like it's like not cool. Like yeah, that what I just said really stupid, but
like-
it's fucking Dante, and that's fucking cool.
That.
How dare you say Dante's not cool?
Oh, we've been on this frame for too long. I just looked back and we're staring at this. This hurts me actually. Oh, he's come on, man. He's cool.
Like,
the
yes,
most-
Devil
how is
May
that
Cry
for-
5 is the closest he's ever been to not cool, but he ends the game fucking cool.
Yeah, and he's still cool through the entire game. He does cool things. Let's keep going. Stop! Go away!
V is my favorite character in the game. He's also one of the worst characters in the game, but given the amount
What?
of relevance
What?
he has in the
I mean, okay, you can hold those two opinions, but that's confusing to say at the bat.
Like, okay, like you can know something is not very good objectively, but still prefer it.
I think the way he's coming at this is in the way that he's one of the worst characters in the game, but he's not a character not a reoccurring character that's been ruined.
I don't know,
and that's why he likes him.
that is something I don't agree with. Remember when you told me
What?
Like, I think that Men in Black 2 is bad, but it's the one that I want to watch. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I like Men in Black 1 more than Men in Black 2. Yes. So, do you want to watch Men in Black 1? No, I want to watch 2. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Is this your wallet? No.
Fuck you.
Hey man, I can't tell what's not true.
Fine.
Do we want to go through the V section real quick?
How long have we been doing this?
Little under 2 hours, I think.
Fucking Christ.
If you, I want to say let's keep going so we can hopefully be able to finish this up within 2 episodes. Let's get to the V section pretty quickly. I think we can do it.
I've got about 13 minutes, give or take, to get through. I assume there's credits or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Let's go for... Fine.
Let's just however long the V
One
section
more
is.
minute. Let's do one more minute. I can only take one more minute.
He's the only one that I ended up caring about at all.
Well, I'm happy you did that because, like, at the end of his story, like, if you take V's story from the very beginning up to where he combines with Virgil, obviously it keeps going on because Virgil's in. But either way, in terms of V's story, that moment where he's being carried, and then he just showed by Nero, it's great.
V is like the human part of Virgil, and like it really shows. Like he has a lot of vulnerability, and like he's a bit more open with his emotions to a point.
But you can also see like that visceral self-hate.
Yes, but like than he is with Virgil. So it's a good way to like hammer home to the audience that Virgil is a very sympathetic villain.
Yes.
At his core.
Yes.
He was created
By circumstance.
when he was fucking like what, 8?
However old they were when the demons came.
He is someone who is like Dante holding on to childhood trauma into his what, late 40s, early 50s?
That's one thing. Like, to a small tangent that's related. I think that the prequel novel does touch on what happened to Virgil during that night. I think it's basically he got cornered out of, like, when he was at a playground or something by a fuck ton of demons. And like, so the reason he has such a placement on self-power is that, like, I think he ended up winning that fight, even though he was young. I don't know exactly what it is. I haven't read it, so I could be talking out my ass. But if the sequence,
Next week we'll play Has Austin read the prequel novel?
If the sequence events happen in the way that, like, he was cornered by demons and had to like tooth and nail fight his way out, and then found his house got burnt down, his mom got killed, and everything else, and everything he knew in terms of having a peaceful life was a lie, and that strength is the only thing that matters. It makes sense how he developed that own philosophy and makes him a really sympathetic character because of it.
And like that kind of sympathy, like my sympathy for V was at like an all-time high. Even really, when he was like, "And our roots together join," and he's throwing in, I'm like, you deserve it.
Yeah, same. You're like, God, even then, like, because like as the first time you're playing it as an audience member, you're like, wait, because you have that moment of like, wait, was what he was saying before truthful, or was he just trying to get to this moment and was just saying things to know it was true?
Dante's literally like, Virgil, was this your plan all along?
Mm-hmm. Like, even though like once you beat the entire game, and like particularly when they have when Virgil has
once the credits are finished rolling, you're like, okay, I kind of get it. But like in that moment, you're like, oh shit. But even then, when you're like, that whole shit, like, was he lying about those things? You're kind of like, you still have that sympathy of like, I don't want V to die. Like, there is like that sympathy is like really strong.
Yeah, and they like they do a really good job with, even though
it's also because he's weak.
Yeah,
he's the weakest character that has ever been in Devil May Cry.
He can't fight for himself. They really drive that home. He has to have all his little summons fight for him. He literally to keep himself alive has to keep reading poetry to keep himself like motivated. Like, that's almost literally canon, that he has to keep focusing like that little itty bitty demonic power he has, so he doesn't like fucking disintegrate into like dust.
So yeah, I like V.
I like V a lot.
Let's see what he has to say about V.
There's something so cool about his calm demeanor.
Pardon my delay. I was catching up on some reading.
In one scene, when Nico scares him off by yakking about her life when no one asked, I immediately related to him.
Oh, okay. Like, okay, so you're related to him for not liking Nico
because he pulled a straight man.
He got it. Well, at least he got into the character one way or the other, even if it was kind of a wrong way. But like, yeah, once again, like, God damn it, you're like right there. You're right there at the. Come on. You like V because he straight manned Nico's joke, and then but you still don't understand that was the point. God damn it.
Yeah, that was the joke. Yeah, wow.
He's right there.
That's teetering on the precipice of understanding.
Yeah, you know, literally when you say you can get a horse to water, you can't make it drink. That's literally, I'm just like, come on, it's right there. You're gonna starve to death. Just eat it. Come on. I don't know what to say else other than that.
Because like the fact that like if you understand like the Nico comedy dynamic, but don't like it, that's fine. But he's like Nico's yapping about some shit, and then fucking V was like, "I'm out of here." I'm like, "I like that." I'm like, "So wait, so you did like it? Wait,
so
what?
You liked it?
Like that's the comedy dynamic. That's
that's how that scene's supposed to go." But like somehow he separated it out and went all the liking to the V, but then for some reason somehow seemed to interpret that as not what was supposed to happen in the scene, and so like decontextualize it from the scene, but then ended up hating the scene because Nico made her joke.
It's weird. It's interesting, but you know, I think I like how much we're starting to understand. Like, this critique as a whole.
Yes, I agree with that. We're getting there.
I like V a lot.
I love V.
In terms of, like, character design and his calm demeanor. He's a total fucking, like, Shadow the Hedgehog edgelord. And that's, like, super funny, and I love it.
It's really funny how, like, when you really sit down and look at his outfit, it's hilarious. It's full leather.
So
it's not even
embarrassing.
stitched together. It's just like shoestrings holding like the vest together. Nothing else underneath. So he's just got to be cold as fuck. Like it's open vested the entire time.
How hard can your nipples get before you can't fight anymore?
It's also leather.
Once you've got like glass cutters going on, then your fucking DT bar starts to go down.
That's also not broken in. He got that like 2 days ago. That's brand new leather. Can you imagine how uncomfortable that is?
Oh man!
And then it's also what pants? He's just like weird like black jeans.
Yeah, he's just got black jeans.
Yeah, and then he's got sandals.
Yeah, like
everyone open-toed sandals.
Like he's a fucking like tryhard edgelord, just like everyone else.
Oh,
but if everyone's a tryhard edgelord, no one is. And that's just, like I fucking love it. It's hilarious.
It's the best.
Get out of there, man. V has what I've come to call Kylo syndrome. When you're the only character in a crappy story that has any kind of mobility, you're instantly the most exciting
I gotta watch that again.
character
That was
in a
impressive.
crappy story
That
that
little
has
slide.
any kind of mobility. You're instantly the most exciting thing about that story.
The thing is, I actually kind of agree with you. Even though Kylo is my favorite character in the new series outside of Finn. Reason being, it's mostly just because Adam Driver really carries the character, not because he's written well, because he's not.
The only thing I like Finn more than anyone else because he had a lot of potential at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that potential was squandered. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like Kylo Ren, I think, is worse.
He's definitely worse than Finn, I would say.
Because he had an interesting... Like, he didn't have a lot of potential, but where he was going was interesting, and then he just didn't do that.
That sums up about the entire
sequel
trilogy right
Last
now.
Jedi kind of takes every character and, like, puts them on a completely different trajectory.
Pretty much.
Like, where do you go with Kylo? Like, you have to, he's violently evil, but he's conflicted.
Yeah.
To he's violently evil and no longer conflicted.
Conflicted, but then not conflicted.
And so now he has to be violently evil and just the bad guy. Basically.
Who knows what they're doing with
Because,
Ren
like,
Skywalker? No
if
one
Kylo
knows.
Ren's like, oh, I'm a good guy now, and, like, sacrifices himself for the rebellion, be like, where the fuck did that come from? Shut up, J.J. Abrams. This was not what you were planning. Bullshit.
But, a little bit, yeah, this is a bit of a tangent now. But, yeah, I agree. I like Kylo Ren. But in terms of, okay, it's weird that so his point, though, with that is that Devil May Cry 5 is bad. And V is the most interesting character in terms of what his movement can be. So
I think flexibility in storytelling. He doesn't have any predetermined like motivations or like ways that his character is supposed to act as compared to other entries. So he can kind of do whatever he wants.
Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm now sitting here. I'm just like, is the reason he brought up Kylo Ren because he actually is comparing them narratively wise, or it's just because they look the same and that's the joke?
Well, that was our joke during our mod videos.
That's everyone's joke, though.
I don't know. Like, Kylo Ren...
I don't know. Yeah, I'll
like,
say
in terms of narrative flexibility, that's kind of disingenuous. Because Rey and Finn also had narrative flexibility in the beginning. Like, they could have done whatever they wanted with that.
Everyone did, and they
but
got this
Rey got
extremely narrowed
kind of
down.
like knocked into Luke Skywalker. Kylo got knocked into just Darth Vader-ish again.
But then
in the first one, Finn was the only rogue element.
Yeah.
Like with narrative flexibility, really.
Yeah, and then it's so
because he wasn't Han Solo. Because Han Solo was in the fucking movie.
Yep. Well,
like he wasn't like the thing that made him similar to Han Solo was that they were reluctant heroes. But
yeah,
they were reluctant for completely different. Finn was reluctant because he was afraid of opening up because he felt as though if he told people where he was actually from, they would hate him.
Yeah, well, and there's also the fact that he explicitly says that he wants to get as far away because he's just scared of the First Order. And
yes,
he has nothing. He doesn't have. Oh God, I'm analyzing Force Awakens now. He has nothing to fight for.
Yes,
and so he just wants to run away as fast as possible. You were saying?
Yeah. Anyway, but let's say, like, in terms of narrative flexibility, I think like Finn has some, and I don't think Kylo really has a whole lot. In terms of, like, what he's saying is mobility, like the ability to kind of, like, pivot and to try new things and be, like, take stories in new directions. Which is what I think he's saying that V had a lot of potential to do.
I think so.
Which is also...
I'll rewind it in a second here so I can get it in full again, but...
Does that not seem like V is a fresh, new character that could take the story in an interesting direction, therefore he's good?
That's basically,
but all of the other new characters he hates?
That's basically what he said in the beginning of this, yes.
What is happening?
I don't know. I do not know.
We need to listen to that one more time.
Yeah.
Calm demeanor.
Pardon my delay. I was catching up on some reading.
In one scene, when Nico scares him off by yakking about her life when no one asked, I immediately related to him. Get out of there, man. V has what I've come to call Kylo syndrome. When you're the only character in a crappy story that has any kind of mobility, you're instantly the most exciting thing about that story. And what do you know? kind of looks exactly like Kylo anyway. Another thing that I really liked about the character was this idea that he's dying the whole time. You stop moving with him, and Kylo immediately goes to lean on his cane. It's a little thing, but it made me invest that much more
Kylo
in
now.
playing as him. I really wanted to get Kylo to the next area and keep pushing him forward. In a way, it reminded me of Raziel in Soul Reaver. As a wraith from the spirit world existing in the material plane constantly drains your health. So whenever you're playing as him, you have this great sense of urgency that really keeps you in the moment. Walking around with V in general is awesome too. When he
Pause.
runs,
Yeah,
I agree with him. Soul Reaver's good.
I haven't played it, so I can't
like
say. That's fair. Everything you said about him, I generally agree with. I don't think I have anything to really negatively say. What do you like?
No, like
disagree with?
his character, like he likes the character design. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. For different reasons, but I do like it.
narratively?
He likes the voice actor. I do too,
Yeah.
for different reasons, but I do like it. He likes the way that the tiny little characterizations with his animation. The animation also good. The mocap really great.
as well as a story in terms of he's slowly
Like
dying.
he's picking up on physical characterization of V.
Yeah, which is well done.
We also picked up on, and we agree.
Yeah.
That's good. Huh. So that's what that feels like.
All right, let's
that
keep
really
going.
keeps you in the moment. Walking around with V in general is awesome too. When he runs, he hops on top of Shadow like a skateboard and kind of surfs around. Like, this guy's got some style. And then when he walks,
Yeah, it's cool.
he kind of lurks around and is really mysterious and tragic. He's hands down the best part of the game, and I'm honestly glad he exists at all. He should have
Okay,
just gotten
good.
his own IP separate from this mess of a game. Which is funny, because Virgil, on the other hand, is so annoyingly bad
No.
that I'm not even going to give him his own section.
Oh,
So instead,
What?
I'll just give kudos to DMC5's real Daniel Southworth role, and it's actually Griffin.
You and I like to exist, so get rid of those demons quick.
oh, you voiced Griffin? Oh, cool.
Dude. Sorry, you have reached, I will call this peak hard truths about Devil May Cry 5. Instead of like having a section on Virgil and saying Virgil's the worst and not providing any specifics, you have said Virgil bad, not even going to have anything about, I'm not even going to mention him because bad.
We still have a while in the video left, so maybe he'll get back around to it. But if he never mentions Virgil again, that's going to be very interesting.
Like, what the fuck do you...
That's what I said. I can't say anything yet, but if we finish this video, it was like you had 43 minutes to talk about all of Devil May Cry 5 and things you didn't like, and you're not going to talk about Virgil because you didn't like him.
In 28 minutes and 55 seconds, your like specific criticisms is you believe that Nero is petty, you believe that Dante is sleepy, and you don't like the design of the Devil Sword Dante. That's what we've gotten.
Well, there's obviously more Galaxy Brain takes of Lady and Trish are dumb.
That
Bad
again,
words.
broad generalization.
Oh, okay. In terms of it's
They're bad. They're dumb pizza slut bimbos.
Oh.
What did they do? Why? Like, it's because they have like female body parts, and sometimes you can see part of them. Like, is that like? Tell me that that's what you didn't like.
I don't know. But okay, I'm gonna rewind this real quick. But like, you're not gonna talk about.
He should have just gotten his own IP separate from this mess of a game.
It's funny that he says that because like, okay, like. You could make another character that's almost identical to V without the whole splitting Virgil part, but the reason V is so good is because he's an explanation of Virgil's humanity, which is why his character is like it's like
you would have to
doubly
come up with a
interesting.
new reason why he's dying. Yeah, but that's not terribly hard.
That's not terrible. But I'm saying like one of the best reasons for V is that you can reanalyze all his interactions and his characterization through the lens of him being Virgil's humanity.
We also have somebody who created a Devil May Cry like original IP. That plucky little indie studio.
Oh yes,
Platinum Games with Bayonetta. And gosh darn it, Bayonetta's story. It's not as good.
I don't know.
Bayonetta's World. It's okay. It's okay.
I can't say anything. I've never played.
Like the Umbra Witches is a cool idea because they do time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like people are constantly trying to tie it to Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
They were like, "What if Eva was an Umbra Witch?" And people are like, "Stop." I don't really know where I'm going with that. People are saying that, like, could another IP exist outside of Devil May Cry 5 or Devil May Cry? Yeah, because like Kamiya, who did DMC1, went on to make Bayonetta, and like Platinum Games, yeah, they make some good stuff. I love Platinum Games, by the way. That's a whole kettle of fish that we could talk about.
Yeah.
They're not an indie studio, but I do feel like they don't get enough love.
I can agree with that.
Well, they get enough love, they don't get enough sales.
That's true. Okay,
They may be an indie studio soon.
God, let's circle back around though. It's so strange that like I can understand. Okay, the reasons you listed, that he likes Virgil, they are independent of his characterization of being Virgil's humanity. But that's one of the reasons I like his character so much. It's weird to me. I don't know.
V doesn't have a lot going on aside from the fact that he is Virgil's humanity. You would have to basically write his character from scratch to put him in his own IP. Like, what you would be able to keep is his voice actor, character design, and you could keep his...
You could keep his characterization.
You could keep his mocap if, like, you came up with another reason why he was dying.
Yeah, well, you can also keep his characterization. It's just you have to write an entirely different story to encompass why he is the way he is and why his characterization is the way it is. Because literally everything that he is like explicit to Devil May Cry. I don't know. All right, well, let's just keep going though.
Which is funny because Virgil, on the other hand, is so annoyingly bad that I'm not even going to give him his own section.
It's hard to hear.
Instead, I'll just give kudos to DMC5's real Daniel Southworth role, and it's actually great.
You made it into... Okay, sorry, we already said it before, but you made an entire video. Why don't you give Virgil a section if you have so many issues with him? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, maybe he'll make a section. We're not at the end yet. I don't want to go off on a tangent yet.
So get rid of those demons quick. It's killing them in my stick. I got your back. This diet is whack.
I thought he was going to be like really annoying, but he's actually really funny.
Never seen him before.
I thought Nico was not very funny, and I thought Nico was not particularly annoying, and I thought Griffin was more annoying.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
But
yeah,
that's subjective.
Yes. But, like, it's funny because, like, you probably liked Griffin. I don't know if I can't really say, but, like, Griffin was fun for the same reason that Nico was fun, is that he was always the Joker for V, and V always sandbagged him. It's the same dynamic, just two different characters.
I just shrugged my shoulders again. Right, physical comedy not working, Austin.
I don't know.
I mean, scrumpulous.
All right, well, why are we bringing in 4 here?
He's actually really
Let's
funny.
see.
Never seen him before. Not in the world anyway.
In that respect, he's a lot closer to DMC4 Dante than actual Dante in this game. None of his one-liners make you laugh, but he's funny anyway.
You know he's talking about Nico, right?
What?
None of his one-liners particularly make you laugh, but they're funny anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah,
that's Nico, dude.
Yeah, and he's saying Griffin in Devil May Cry 5 is like Dante in Devil May Cry 4. What?
Laugh, but he's funny anyway.
They don't make you laugh, but they're funny anyway.
You know what I have to say about that?
What?
I'm done for the day.
Let's finish the section.
Oh, dude.
Let's do it. Come on.
Look, I'm drunk. I'm starting to lose my voice. I got a fucked up coccyx.
We're almost done.
I am bleeding for my art right now. All right,
it will bleed more.
Bleed for me, dog.
He's over the top, but you kind of like having him around. Why didn't they do that with Nico?
Nico is that.
I think that at the end of the day, the worst thing DMC...
All right, what won it there?
That's what they did. That's what it was. That's what they did. What the fuck are you talking? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm really... No, I don't understand. Stop the recording. This is over.
Everything's changed. That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good